What's up, everybody? This is Brody, Charlie, and Tudong Dylan from the Talk Punch YouTube channel and podcast, where we talk movies, do lists, rankings, and more, and you are about to listen to the Keeping Up with the Cardassians podcast. Enjoy!
The latest in pop culture and nerd news, an unhealthy obsession with pizza, and more Trek than 12 listeners can handle. Seriously, guys, we could use a few new subscribers, so, tell a friend. Please. Keeping Up with the Cardassians.
Engage.
Make it so.
I do love those bumps. L is welcome back anytime to give us bumps. And Cottonmouth King hits as well.
Yes.
I wonder if Al likes Cottonmouth Kings. Do you like the Cottonmouth Kings? We're off to a good start.
I did not know the Cottonmouth King.
You don't want to know them.
No, you want to know them.
They're
everybody.
Garbage.
No, they're hot garbage.
That's Shirley Manson.
So, welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians. This is Nick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
Sean.
And Sean is here. And Sean has the challenge of talking into his mic this episode. It was off to a banging start there. But welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians. We are a pop culture podcast that focuses on all your favorite movies, TV shows, comics, video games, toys, and so much more. But as you know, right now, in the second half of the episode, we work our way through reviews of TV shows. And right now, we are reviewing Star Trek: The Next Generation. And today, we got episodes 22 and 23 from Season 1. I lied, 23 and 24 from Season 1. Skin of Evil.
Oh,
and
good.
We'll Always Have Paris.
I thought I didn't watch the episodes
No,
for a
you,
second.
you were good. You
Remember
were
that
good.
time?
That's happened. That's happened.
Whoops.
That's happened. We've done that before. But we're going to review those two. But as you've heard, we have a special guest on again today. We have Sean here today. Welcome, Sean.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. You're
I feel
well.
like I'm on the bridge.
Nice reference.
You
Because every
are.
other episode I've been in, it's been like the car.
True.
Yep.
Not recommended.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, man.
Especially after Nick has had sheets.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Gosh, you were part of that experience. Oh, my gosh.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'm
he has
so
Vietnam. He has
sorry.
Vietnam flashbacks.
I am so sorry.
You have to sign up for Patreon for that one.
I got to be honest with you. I had never made odors like that in my life.
I don't believe that. For
No.
a second.
Like, I was ashamed of myself and impressed that day. Like, that was...
There's no way I believe that.
Oh, I can promise you, I've never made odors.
No, there was no sound.
There was no sound.
That was an SBD
Just
for
creeped
sure.
in.
Yeah, it did. I thought I got away with it, man. I thought I did. I thought
No, you couldn't feel it. Like you.
No. I knew it came out, but I'm like, oh,
No. But
there's
it
no
had to be
odor
hot.
here. There's no odor, but that's because it was so heavy it sunk to the bottom of the car, and I had to rise up.
What I'm saying is,
The Dark Knight
Can't-
Rises again, son.
Yes.
can't you feel when you know it's going to be odorous?
Yeah. You
Like,
can.
you-
You can.
You sort
know,
of feel it, and you're like, that's going to be rough in about 18 seconds.
when they're warm,
Yeah,
the warm ones, and they feel slightly moist,
Jesus Christ.
but they're not actually.
we are off and running out of the gates.
Everyone can relate to this. We may
We're
not
up-
talk about it out loud.
That's true. You know what?
We're on fire like Nick's ass.
We don't talk about flatulence enough on this
We don't.
podcast.
We got to destigmatize flatulence.
I actually think this is the first time.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, the last time we
Well,
talked about
after-
flatulence, we do it behind a paywall.
Yeah, that's true. We do it behind the
It was
paywall.
live.
It was live. It was live. But that was on the Patreon.
It's true.
That was on the Patreon.
The
So-
Patreon's like 2 hours.
Yeah, the 2-hour-long
was 2
Patreon
hours.
episode that nobody wanted.
Yeah,
It's the Snyder cut of
it was
of
the Snyder
Patreon
cut of
episodes.
There was a lot of slow motion.
There
Yeah.
was when he farted, my life flashed before my eyes in slow motion.
and it felt like that car ride suddenly became an 8-hour car ride,
Yeah.
didn't it? Yeah.
Felt like we were traveling in reverse.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So anyways, enough about farts. There is a lot to cover today. There's a lot of big breaking news that has come out this week. A lot of trailers have come out this week.
Mm-hmm.
There's been movie releases this week. Sean is going to review Ghostbusters for us because he saw it the other day. And I've heard the reviews have not been good, so I'm curious to know what Sean thinks. Sean is a guy who finds redeeming qualities in everything he sees, so I'm still curious to hear what his review will be.
We need to work on that with you.
But so I'll be curious. But I want to start off with some DC news because that's the
You have my attention.
clearly the superior. Sean sits back.
Do it. Say. Finish what you were just about to say. Clearly, the what?
Better universe.
Thank you.
Church just lost some members.
Not the movies so far, but the comics.
Are you kidding me?
I am kidding you. I am kidding you because I don't read a lot of comics these days. I'm out of the comics.
Don't be kidding him. Say it like a man.
Have you
Say
seen
with some
his
bass in your voice.
Have you seen his
Universe that has-
basement?
that has rebooted itself like 7 or 8 times because they can't get their shit together?
Okay, how many times has Professor X died, bro?
More than one.
Yeah, more than one. Yeah,
In the comics?
yeah.
Hold on. I'm just going to end this argument right here. Does Marvel have Batman? Hashtag.
Oh, the little orphan who can't get over his parents dying.
The podcast host that can't speak into a mic. Oh.
Hey, I'm just cranking his mic. We're good.
Fuck Batman.
No. Hashtag Batman makes everything better.
So speaking of Batman,
Snake
anyways.
Eyes sucks too.
Oh, next thing you know, he's gonna say Mission Barbecue is overrated.
That would hurt you too.
That would hurt me. Don't do it. All right, so movie news: Joker. Fale adieu.
I'm kind of
Nailed
worried
it.
about what he's doing after I said something.
Oh my
bad
gosh, he's
about
pulling
Snake
out.
Eyes.
He pulled out a blade. He pulled out a Cleon knife, and it's not.
You're gonna shave your beard. Don't do that.
Don't do that. So Joker Fale adieu will be a jukebox musical with at least 15 covers of well-known songs.
Does this worry you guys? Does the news
What
coming
was that
out?
you guys saying about DC being better?
So
Hey, it was them.
Joe, shut up.
the first one was a masterpiece.
Does this worry you that every piece of news that trickles out about this makes it almost feel like a caricature of a movie?
It's got Lady Gaga in it.
First of
though.
all, Lady Gaga was in it. You knew there was going to be music in it. You knew it was going to happen.
I don't mind that if there's music in it because Lady Gaga's in it. I get that, but
I thought
calling
it was
it-
Lady Gaga.
No, it's Gaga.
no, there's no why.
Gaga.
But calling it a musical multiple times and now saying it's going to be a jukebox musical. It's
What
very
is a
concer-
jukebox musical?
I'm assuming it means a lot of the music is occurring in their heads because they're both crazy and they're like singing and dancing when everything's
maybe
going wrong.
I don't
First
know.
of all, that would be amusing to see if I were out and about and someone just started dancing.
I'm
It happens all the time now with TikTok.
It literally does, and it's the worst.
Never seen it.
I'm growing. I'm growing concerned with this.
The only reason why I'm not concerned is because it's still the same director of the first one, still the same writers from the first one.
I get it.
I just feel like they've warranted our trust.
Have they though?
Yes, the first one was incredible.
Okay.
Will it
It made me cry.
Will it be the feel-good movie of the year again?
Oh my gosh. Did you ever see The Joker?
No.
Oh my
The
gosh.
last DC thing I saw was Man of Steel.
So good.
Such a good movie, though.
So
I,
good.
I feel like that's
What do you got against Man of Steel?
I just kind of think Superman should be
Happy?
happy.
But he wasn't Superman.
Like, I'm
yet.
excited for James Gunn's
Yeah.
version of it, and I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was very excited that they were, like, really going for it with the. Like, it was fun to watch Superman punch Zod.
Yeah.
Like, through stuff and how.
Like, really
expansive that
strong.
was.
Yeah.
With my hands. But it was. I know this is very controversial because everyone rolls their eyes but it was the neck snap for me in front of the kids.
Oh,
And
Oh my
God.
no,
gosh.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
and it's not controversial because a lot of people have that opinion.
Yeah.
But you were never given, like, Snyder just wanted. No,
See, I disagree.
Not Snyder. DC just wanted to get the Avengers. They
Yeah.
just wanted to get to the Justice League.
Not at that point, though.
So you were not able to, like, flesh out, like, Superman feeling bad about that.
That's
or
true.
You were not given the opportunity because, like,
You had to have the background from other comics and other movies that he doesn't do this sort of thing.
they just rushed everything.
Oh yeah, the
Like,
100%.
trust me, I wanted DC fans to have the same feeling I had during the first couple phases of Marvel.
No, he didn't.
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
Trust me, I was rooting for Rob.
No, you weren't.
It would be cool, like a build up of Superman, and him still doing the next snap at some point could have worked, but there had to be inner turmoil leading to that
So,
moment.
no, here's the thing though. In that instance, when Zod said he'd never stop, there was no choice.
Yeah.
There was no choice.
I agree, there was no choice.
That argument that people have with that movie it's not idiotic, but it's just dumb.
No.
What else are you gonna do?
I get what you're saying. I understand. And then maybe now as a parent,
I'd
because before
snap
I was
it-
like, fuck them kids.
Yeah,
And now he's like, he's gonna murder this baby
I
with
would
his
snap his
laser
neck
eyes.
right in front of the kids too if I had
Yeah,
to.
you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, what's a little PTSD?
Kid's gonna die,
Right.
or Zod gonna die?
Yeah.
Zod's gonna die.
It was just jarring. It was the same thing. Like
It was a jarring
It
scene.
was supposed to be jarring.
Garfield's second Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about like Garfield.
I know.
like
I
the
thought too.
cat.
Like Garfield and Odie.
Oh, with her snapping her neck. Oh,
And it was the whack against the cement
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was coming. It was like the same thing. Like during Infinity War, I was like joyously sitting there while I knew there were a bunch of kids that were about to start crying because I knew the snap was coming.
yeah. And you knew all these people
But it
were
was
dying.
very fun hearing everyone in the theater be like,
Not Black Panther.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
no.
coming back the next movie, guys. Chill out.
I think we talked about that before, but
Yeah.
the snap pissed me off.
That didn't piss me off.
As soon as Black Panther went up, I'm like, ugh. Because it's going to be cheap and everybody's going to come back.
Dude, that's
I want them all to die.
That's what Marvel
yeah.
does. They're cheap.
Chadwick Boseman came back.
too soon.
Why? What happened?
No. Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah,
He died.
I know.
Cancer.
He
AIDS.
just wanted to.
No.
Diabetes.
He did not have an STI.
D.
Okay.
It is sad though, because when I go back and watch that, you can clearly tell
That he's not well.
that he is not well.
And he faked it, like, he didn't tell
I mean, you
anyone.
didn't know at the time, but definitely in
No, he's
retrospect,
keeping it-
you look at that, like when he comes in, you can see in his face, it's like sunk in.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
It is.
Do
All
you
right.
think they should have recast?
No.
No. Let him go. Recast. Obviously, recast.
I'm a big fan
Kang.
of recasting.
I just think with the multiverse, they had the perfect opportunity to be like, hey, here's Michael B. Jordan.
If
I
can
love
do
how
it, if
you went with Michael B. Jordan, like all these amazing black actors, and you went with the one that everyone always names, Michael B.
Because
Jordan.
he was Killmonger.
Oh,
It
that
would
wa-
have just worked because
Oh,
he
'cause he was
was
already-
like in another universe. He would have
See,
been
that
there.
makes
and he wouldn't
sense.
have-
Nick's
That
ra-
makes
This
Nick's
guy trying
racist.
to make me
No,
racist.
I was trying to make him
cancel me.
racist. I was trying
Son
to
of a bitch.
I was trying to cancel you. I'm sorry. I did it.
No, Nick just can't think beyond.
Yeah, he was-
Somebody thinks that
he was
all
like,
black people
"He's
look alike.
like
So-
me."
right.
I found a kindred racist spirit.
Hey, I'm not enjoying more DC news. The Penguin series trailer released the other day
Yes.
for the Batman the Penguin. Looks incredible again.
Yes. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, Colin Farrell as the Penguin was one of the best parts of the Batman. Did you see the Batman?
No.
My gosh, do you have not seen any DC?
Why is he on the show?
I don't know.
No,
Because he's the Marvel perspective.
No. The Batman is from now on. The Batman is a prerequisite to be on the show.
That's true.
100% of this.
I was going to watch it because it came out on HBO Max when like Henry was born.
Yeah.
No,
And
don't watch it with
then
him.
I wasn't, but we were kind of on this swing
not
shift
that
thing. But Ashley was like, I wouldn't mind watching that one, and that means it's going to be 5 years before I get to see it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
just so you
'Cause
know,
I've got to rewatch.
you can never be on
One
the show
Tree
again
Hill
unless you watch the Batman. That is now a prerequisite for the show.
Well,
Rob and I watched
Been
it
fun.
together on the deck of a cruise ship one night, and it was magical.
you guys were on a cruise together?
Yeah,
Tell me more.
just one.
Shoot.
Multiple times.
Hey, you're coming for the third time, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Third time's the...
what kind of show is this?
You're coming on the third cruise. You get to come. You're gonna travel with us on the third cruise.
I like this podcast. All right. Let me just get settled in here.
So the Penguin is set after the Batman. Matt Reeves is not writing, but he's serving as a producer. Craig Zobel will be directing at least 3 episodes. He is a director known for Westworld, The Leftovers, American Gods, Outcast, and Mayor of Easttown, which all are incredible TV series. So I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm excited about it. It's gonna be. It looked really good.
Yeah, it was a good
I
trailer.
watched the trailer
Did you?
again.
Christine Milioti is going to be in it.
Nailed it.
That's the How I Met Your Mother, right?
Yes, it is. And she's been in some other really good stuff, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that, right?
Yeah. So
Like the ending.
you like...
I didn't mind it.
You like the ending?
I did like the ending.
Of How I Met Your
like
Mother.
It,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it with
I don't mind
time. I did not like it when it first aired, but then with time, I'm like, this is the way the real world works, right? So and the whole story was like, he started the story about talking about being obsessed with Robin. To talk about how do you get to your mother, like this, it's very clear the guy was trying to set his kids up for like, I'm still into Robin, right? Like, the whole story is about how I kept trying to get with Robin and it never worked. And then all of a sudden he's like, since your mom's dead and Robin's single, what do you think?
Yeah.
up?
Hey.
What up, though?
What up, dope?
Not as good as the Reba finale, though.
Nothing as good as the Reba
No.
finale.
It's untouchable.
Other news, and then we'll get into some reviews here. We're already 15 minutes in. Beetlejuice released their trailer.
I didn't watch it.
Oh,
Oh,
my
it looks
gosh.
so good.
It's really good.
Oh my gosh! At the end, he pops on the screen and says the juice is loose, and I lost. That was the greatest line ever.
That's gonna be.
It was a really good. My neighbor who listens to the podcast, like I tried to get Beetlejuice is his second favorite movie of all time. Behind
Yeah.
the Burbs, and I was like, you got to watch the teaser trailer, and he was like, he refuses because he's like, Beetlejuice was a perfect film.
This
It
is
was
Mr. Mullins.
It was a
Yes.
perfect film.
He listens to
He
our
was-
podcast.
Yes, now because he's a big Next Gen fan.
Oh, welcome, Sean's neighbor.
So it's been a tough go because we're both Next Gen fans, but you guys are like hated it.
I've,
oh,
We're in the
I'm sorry.
first
I'm
season.
sorry. This show stinks.
I've come around, my friend. I've been reviewing
true.
them better. These-
There've been.
He liked one episode recently.
Yeah.
But you're
I think
very
we all-
couple.
every time you give your reviews, I just picture John Lovitz in my head. It stinks.
It stinks.
It's that's true. That's true. So the Beetlejuice. You made a couple good points there. First of all, the first Beetlejuice movie is a perfect film. I think it is truly a perfect film.
It is.
And this trailer was a perfect teaser trailer. I think. Like you see some of the original cast.
I was like, I don't even think you need to watch the movie. I just tried to convince him to watch the teaser. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, I think it's all you need. But his argument is that Beetlejuice is only in the movie for like 8 minutes. Like total screen time.
He thinks he is.
No, I think he knows this.
Oh, in the new one.
No, in the first one. In
Is
the
he
first
really?
One, Beetlejuice is only like in 8 minutes and 49 seconds of the entire
That's
film.
true. He's not a very big character.
They're gonna Jack Sparrow him.
Right. And so he's worried about it just being
Oh,
like,
they're gonna overdo him.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
But I don't think, okay, so Catherine O'Hara doesn't need the money. She had Schitt's Creek, right? That was a big hit.
Yes,
Emmy
it was.
winner. Like, she's doing fine.
Yeah.
Winona Ryder, she's on Stranger Things. She's doing fine. She's not shoplifting anymore.
Everybody needs
Jenna
a hobby.
Ortega. Jenna Ortega.
Right?
Yep.
She's doing okay until everybody in Scream started talking about Gaza.
Ew.
That one got the brakes pumped on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we're in a horror franchise. Can we just?
Yeah, could we just maybe just do the movie?
Yep.
And then you guys can.
Yep.
I really miss a time when celebrities weren't on social media. I just
I miss a time where
before
there was no social media.
I
at
do
all,
miss the
ever.
time where there
Yeah,
was
no
no social.
podcast, nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
we need to hear
whoa,
from
whoa,
you.
whoa, whoa! Let's pump those brakes a little bit.
Listen, there's always been radio,
That's true.
so in theory, there's always been podcasting.
Podcasting is radio. The
All right,
next generation.
The next Patreon should be you guys getting a Star Trek Next Gen script, and we just do an old timey radio play to it.
Okay.
yeah, see,
right.
Captain Picard.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right? I'm
Okay.
in. That's the next.
You can
Patreon.
get a script at the Federation
That's
headquarters
true.
in Sandusky, Ohio.
We have to reschedule that, by the way,
Solid plug.
because you're supposed to go there today originally.
No, I thought we talked about show meeting. I thought we talked about going in sometime in April.
Oh yeah, we just have to reschedule.
Okay.
Pick a
It
date.
happens. It happens.
Did you guys reschedule for me?
Yes.
Yeah,
totally.
Sure.
It's
100%.
TBD.
Nice.
Sure. That's what we did.
Before we go in the reviews, do you have anything else?
Oh gosh. Sydney Sweeney is doing a Barbarella remake.
All right, listen, I'm coming around on Sydney Sweeney.
Are you?
Yeah. Even from the shoulders up, it's more. So here's the thing. Sydney Sweeney from the shoulders down is just yes. From the shoulders up, it just she doesn't have the greatest face, and it's
Says
always
Joe.
and it's
Look at
always
his
bothered
face.
me. It's always I don't know. It just. But I feel like it's almost like pop music on the radio, where I see her over and over and over. I hear these songs over and over and over again on the radio. I'm like, that's not bad, I guess. It's just it's been beaten into.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, well, she's everywhere now, so I'm like, all right, well, she's not bad looking.
Okay, so she's doing a Barbarella movie.
I'm in.
Is she the new Rock?
Oh,
Joe flip-flops on?
is she gonna turn?
No, Rock has.
I do have Marvel news coming up for you. Just wait me out.
It's bankrupt.
They are making a Happy Gilmore. Well, not making. There is a script for Happy Gilmore 2. Christopher McDonald, who plays Shooter McGavin, has read the script from Adam Sandler.
I'm.
Now,
It's going to Netflix.
Here's my question. Is this 90s era?
No.
No, it's your question. You already answered your question.
I know.
when you asked it.
Is it 90s era Adam Sandler
No.
or is it current Adam Sandler?
gonna be current.
Which is like terrible and terrible.
It's not. He's not terrible. He's had some. No, he. So you're so not invited to my bat mitzvah was pretty.
That's pretty good.
That was a very
There
good
are
movie.
exceptions to the rule.
The basketball one. What was the basketball one?
Even a broken clock is right twice a day, baby.
What was the basketball one he did a couple years ago?
The basketball
It
one.
was a basketball movie.
Space Jam 3.
No.
Space Jam
I forget.
4.
I was just guessing.
Yeah, but that was one of the more like, oh, I'm Adam Sandler. I'm now dramatic.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of his serious roles. No,
Yeah.
those don't count. Because he's a good, serious, dramatic actor.
He was in what? Uncut Gems.
But again, that's kind of a.
But it's more
it's a
yeah.
dramedy. He's good with dramedies. He's good with dramas. He's lost his comedic edge, though.
He
overall.
has, and even the bat mitzvah movie. He wasn't like
He wasn't the star.
he
of
wasn't
it.
zany comedy. He was like the quirky
Yeah, the
like
dad, yeah.
like comedy. It was dad comedy.
Yeah, it was.
It's just the film itself was pretty good.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I'm very cautiously concerned that they're doing Happy Gilmore 2.
I agree. We'll see. Is it going to be good? I don't know. The first one is,
My guess is it'll be a 5 or a 6 out of 10.
yeah. I mean, they can almost
going
bring
right to
back the
Netflix.
entire original cast, other than the
Chubbs.
Chubbs. Yeah, Chubbs is the
Rest
only one
in
who
peace,
can't.
Carl Weathers.
Yeah, Chubbs is the only one.
Well, you're just not going to recast him, Nick?
But what's her
Wait,
name?
why don't we just
what's
get
her name
Michael
from
B.
Modern
Jordan? What about
Family?
Michael B. Jordan?
Denzel?
Michael B. Jordan.
No, Denzel. It's
They're-
Chubbs.
They're all the same to you, Nick.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
Well, that would be because Chubbs was kind of,
Fantasia. Barrino.
Just stop.
I think
I'm just naming black actors and actresses. I don't.
I
Halle
think,
Berry-
734-494-0980.
I think Morgan Freeman's
Look, you can't name a white actor because then
no. Can't do that.
can't do that. That's not cool.
Didn't Chubbs die in the movie anyway?
Yeah.
Yes, he does. He gets eaten by the crocodile.
It was just foreshadowing.
Oh,
Adam Sandler killed Chubbs.
oh dear. Adam
Killed
Sandler.
Carl Weathers.
Marvel
I-
news.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some Marvel news?
Sucks.
Marvel Zombies, the animated series, is going to be rated TVMA.
Great.
Oh, you don't care, do you?
No, I don't.
What? I was
not a
hyping.
big- I'm not a big zombie person, so it's not really. That's like I'm just like, eh.
You don't want it. You don't need it in your
I
life.
wasn't into the comic series. Not really into that particular What If episode.
Okay. I
not
I
for
didn't
me.
really enjoy the what. I didn't really care for that either. Yeah. Well, that's a big.
I've got a whole like I'm not big on zombies because I think zombies did something to our culture.
Wow.
What?
I think everybody okay
Like
so when
zombies, like the
Yeah.
entity zombies, like zombies.
Like Zombie the song.
at the height.
In
no,
your head.
that's wonderful, but people misinterpret it all the time, and it bums me out. No, like when The Walking Dead got super popular, I feel like there were people that watched it and they were like, "Oh, creepy, a zombie movie," and then there were people that were like, "I can't wait till this happens in real life so I can shoot my neighbor in the face."
Well, why don't they just go shoot their neighbor in the face? Because zombies aren't real.
Fans.
Just zombies aren't real. So
There
just
just
go
seemed
shoot
like there were people that were like begging for it to happen.
preppers.
Yeah, but I mean, like there were preppers that were like, "This is jokingly what I would do if
Right.
a zombie apocalypse were happening," and then there were people where I saw a twinkle in their eye. of
Yeah,
like
You know what I say?
I can't wait to get a baseball bat
Yeah.
with nails in it and just go
just
to town.
Just go do it then. Go do it.
That's true.
Live your life.
If you're,
You do you.
You only live once.
Yeah, YOLO.
Unless you're a zombie, then you live twice.
Yolt.
So, yeah, I think there's.
Is that Yolt?
Yeah,
Yo,
I think they
there's
could be-
YOLO and Yolt.
yeah.
focusing their IP on stuff that matters, you know?
Marvel has lost their way. They're full of themselves. Marvel is full
They
of
are a
themselves.
little full of themselves.
For sure. They were untouchable, right?
But they're almost in a catch-22 because you can't keep going to the same well, right? Because people get bored of the same
I think
characters
that's
over
the
and
Bob
over.
Iger of it all, where they're like, let's pump the brakes because this has gotten out of hand. But I always viewed it as like, so your phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3 was like 60s Marvel. Okay.
Right.
Like it set up everything. And then phase 4 started to kind of like, in the comics, you got like guys that actually read them started to write them. And
Right.
so the 70s world of Marvel kind of expanded to street level. And that's kind of what I saw happen in phase 4.
Yeah.
But everyone, not everyone, but there was a large contingent of the population that was like, oh, this Infinity War and Endgame thing seems to be pretty popular and it's all sort of worked and everybody hasn't said anything bad about it. So I'm going to jump on right now.
Right.
And then those people post Endgame were like, I want another Endgame now. I need
Yeah.
it now. And so everything that's come out
You're
since
saying Zack Snyder?
is like some of it fairly, a lot of it unfairly.
Unfairly what? Criticized?
Yes.
Oh,
No, it's all
that's
fairly
junk, dude.
criticized.
Yeah, you got those rose-colored glasses on.
I think there's some
I
legitimate.
enjoyed Quantumania.
Oh my lord!
Thought it was great.
I think there's some legitimate criticism that's allowed to happen, and I also do think there's a combination of people who just want to crap
Okay,
on the franchise.
Here's a
There's-
super
that's
annoying
true.
point. Everybody's like, oh, the CGI got super wonky. Sure, it did. But you know what? You can't put Black Panther up for an Oscar when it had the wonkiest CGI
Oh, yeah.
of all the
Oh,
beginning
yeah.
movies.
Black
and
Panther.
we're all supposed to just be like, sure, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
and then suddenly take a crap on everything else.
Well,
The CGI is garbage.
Dude, that last fight scene between
in the
T'Challa
the
and
subway
Killmonger.
or whatever it was.
terrible.
But the movie did not rely on CGI until that point. Now, it did use a lot of CGI backgrounds. Don't get me wrong. All the Marvel movies do now. Nothing's like
Okay,
No,
Black
you're-
Panther gets an Oscar, then we go back and we retroactively give Lion King one too.
what the 1993 animated
Yes,
classic. Yes,
Because it's the same movie.
94.
No,
1994.
are you saying Scar is Killmonger?
Dude, even the beginning which was cool as hell. Like I liked Black Panther, but like the beginning where they're doing the whole thing was Lion King. It was Lion King.
What did they hold him up? Like they held him
Wow,
up?
here's a hot take. Sean thinks Black Panther is overrated. He does. Wow, you do too.
I did too.
Yeah.
Are you equating?
Because the other frustrating part, and this is the part that you guys are gonna have to edit out because this will get me.
We,
canceled.
hold on.
Why,
We don't
'cause-
edit.
I know.
We
Why?
don't
Okay,
edit.
I really got
Because you're equating Black Panther to a movie set in Africa.
Dude,
It's canceled.
that's not cool.
And we've lost our one listener.
I got a really funny
Mullins, are you still around? Can we just keep you?
me at the Black Panther like midnight showing the night before.
Yeah.
I have a really funny off mic story to tell you guys.
Oh dear.
I stood out in that crowd is all I'm saying, and lots of handshakes and high fives were given out to everybody but me.
So there's a rumor out there in Marvel news. I'm going to piggyback on Marvel news. There's a
No, man,
rumor.
I was sitting there and like,
Sean, there's a rumor. This is our show. Just stop.
Hey, that's the first This Is Our Show we've ever had to pull.
Hang on. I just. It's like,
I'm gonna mute it.
it's like everybody forgot Blade. That's all I'm saying.
I'll support you there.
There is actually, that's a lot of truth to that, because a lot of the praise of Black Panther was we're finally celebrating a black comic book character. But Wesley Snipes did it first.
Wesley
about-
Pipes.
Oh, Meteor Man.
Blank Man.
Meteor-
Blank Man, for that matter.
Steel with Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, come on. No, we're
Come on, bro.
Is it?
Okay, so there is a rumor out there. There's a big rumor out there right now that was put on 2 sources, but there's a rumor out there for what they want to do with X-Men's villain when they come out with the films, and it's Mr. Sinister. Thoughts?
Yes.
This goes along with my Ghostbuster review, but like anything to get them away from Magneto. So like I'm fine with it. It's just I'm more fine with it now that it's Marvel
Yeah.
because like Fox just wanted to sanitize everything.
Yeah.
You know, and just like we're not going to put him in out. So as long as if Marvel's doing it, then I'm kind of like
Well, I'm okay with it too. I think that moving away from Magneto is a great idea. It's kind of like the Borg was done too much in Star Trek for a while.
Or like the Joker was done too much in Batman.
100%. So get away
yeah,
from
so
that.
let's make a musical about him. A jukebox musical.
But that's not a Batman movie.
It's not a Batman movie.
It is
it's
not
a
a
Joker
Batman-
movie.
it's a Joker
so of
movie.
course a Joker movie should be about the Joker. If they made a movie called Magneto and
What
Magneto
do we?
wasn't in it, we'd have a problem.
Don't ask him about DC stuff. He doesn't know.
He's a jerk.
He's out of his element.
He's a
You're out of
jerk.
your element, Donnie.
You know what? You were going to be Joe's replacement, and you're really hurting yourself.
I'm not even punctual.
He's not. 9:09. 9:09. Actually, that was punctual for you.
Yeah, you said 9:10. I
said
was
9:10.
early.
I was proud of you. I don't even know what I was going to say to you. I'm so disgusted with you.
That's true.
Jeez.
No, I'm not actually. Okay, Mr. Sinister would be a great villain.
I agree.
A really great villain. As long as Marvel goes back to the tone of Phase 1 and 2. And maybe even 3.
Yeah.
I
I
can
don't
you see the
disagree-
X,
I don't
can you see the
disagree.
X-Men being goofy and zany? It's got to be a more
No.
grounded and serious take,
And
especially
trust me, I'm not like we're in a tough they're in a tough spot because it's like Takiti Watiti gets blown. Everybody loves the third Thor movie.
No, the
Not
second
everybody.
the second Thor was loved. Thor
No.
Love
No,
and Thunder
no.
was hated.
Dark World was
Dark
not
World was rough.
Oh wait. Wow, have they made 4 Thors?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
4 Thors in 7 years.
I don't
ago.
count Thor 2.
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, wee, right?
Yeah.
Not
Ragnarok
everybody.
Ragnarok was decent.
I thought it was fun, but I didn't like how they made Thor.
Yeah, you hated how they dumbed down.
I-
the-
I
He was
hated what they
dumb.
did to
He was-
Thor.
Yeah.
yeah, you do.
But as a
hate it.
as a movie in its entirety, it was fine.
No, watching it was fun. I laughed. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, this is terrible for Thor though, the character.
And what happened when everybody was like, this is awesome? They just went,
Double down on it.
dude. And in a storyline that should have been about Jane dealing with cancer, they're just like, everything's jokes. Like, that could have been
Even
a fantastic-
Jane was the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. It was
they ruined
I
Jane
can be
Foster.
critical of Marvel.
Yeah,
Love and Thunder was not fantastic.
Love and Thunder was not good.
Love and Thunder was not fantastic. That is him chastising Marvel.
yeah, it's not fantastic. All right. Well, one thing we haven't even gone through his review of Ghostbusters.
Do we even want it?
We
at
haven't
this
gone
point?
through his review of X-Men '97. So how about we take a very quick break? We come right back and we review those two things.
By the way, none of those commercials showed up on YouTube.
They don't
They
show up
don't
on YouTube.
they
Oh,
don't
okay.
show up. They show up on Spreaker.
Oh, I should do my own
I was
commercials
watching
on
it
there.
on YouTube, and I was like, these guys suck.
I should do that for fun on.
You could just put in
old commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Hey. All right, Sean,
Yes.
Ghostbusters critically is being panned.
Yep.
They're bashing it, saying it's almost worse than the Ghostbusters relaunch with all the all-female cast.
Nick hates women.
Do you agree or disagree?
That's what I got out of it.
I disagree.
Of course
So
you
hold on,
do.
hold on. You got to start here. What'd you think of the first one with Paul Rudd?
Oh, I liked it.
I-
I mean, it was like,
Where would you rank that in Ghostbusters 1, 2, and Afterlife?
one Afterlife 2.
Okay, that's how I would rank it too.
I loved Afterlife. I loved it.
Yeah.
Even though it was basically the same as the first one.
Yeah,
that's okay.
But with a new
No,
generation.
I'm
There was no EPA involvement in that one.
That's true. That was the 80s. It was wild.
All right.
There was a Gozar though, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So, this is where my Frozen Empire, I liked it, comes into play because there was no Gozar. And I was like, it was nice to get...
To break away from that character.
And just to get a different ghost. I was like, oh, all right. I mean, there's a lot to it. I think they're definitely trying to, broaden the franchise.
Yeah, I've heard that. They want to create a universe.
Yeah. Which I don't think everything needs, but that's where we're living in now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I feel Joe fucking burning his eyes through me, staring at me. Here's the thing.
I'm
Like,
just
I'm one of
so
those-
sick of franchise universes. I don't need. I'm so sick of it. I love Ghostbusters and everybody because Hollywood is so barren for original ideas that will get any traction or make any money. They keep retreading the same thing. The all female Ghostbusters. I get it. Do it. I get that. But I don't need a franchise.
Have you ever seen the all-female Ghostbusters?
Yes.
What did you think?
I did not like it.
Okay, I did not like it either, and it's not
But
because I hate women. It's because that movie was bad with that cast.
They went too cheesy with
that
it.
movie should have been fantastic.
It should have been.
With that cast,
and it
yes.
was not. And Chris Hemsworth was the worst part of it.
They went for the lowest common denominator jokes.
Yeah, it was terrible.
There was no intelligence to it.
And they could have franchised it in there because I'm trying to remember. I watched it on TV once and was like, "That's enough for me." But doesn't Ernie Hudson sell the Ecto-1 to Leslie Jones in that movie?
I think so.
Isn't it
Yeah.
one of the OGs? that
Yeah.
sells- So they could have set up that this was just but they never differentiated that it was part of the same universe other than that one way. But they sort of made the characters like the characters from the first. So I just felt like it relied on nostalgia bait while trying to get away from nostalgia bait.
Yeah.
And therefore failed. And you had a bunch of shitbags that have been running around hating on women on the internet because that's their thing
Nick.
to do.
False.
He's typing.
False.
And so
He's typing
everyone
right
that
now.
was
False.
everyone that was critical of that movie for the obvious reasons were just immediately labeled a misogynist, which then made all the actual misogynists just go harder on
Yeah.
that.
Well,
And we've
I feel like
gotten
that's
into
a
this nightmare.
These are separate
scenario
issues.
where
My issue-
any criticism of any movie, you say
Yes.
that Black Panther's like the Lion King, and suddenly you're labeled a racist. You're fired from your job. and
Who
you're
would
kicked off
say
the
that?
podcast.
Or-
Who would make that? Who would make that connection? That very obvious connection.
Or Star Trek Discovery. You can't not like Star Trek Discovery and not be called
That's another one.
not
Yeah.
progressive.
Right. That's another one. And
We're no
there's
longer allowed to be.
no, there's no room in today's society for critique.
Right.
It's you either love it or you love it or the people that do hate you. That's it. But what my point is, I don't need 8 more Ghostbuster movies. If anyone touches the Back to the Future franchise, I will fucking riot.
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
for sure.
That's untouchable.
Robert Zemeckis,
Who's the writer?
Bob Gale. No,
Let me find out. Back to
Oh,
the
what?
future.
Back to the Future?
He's got the rights ironclad.
Bob Gale.
locked up.
well, that's
Yeah.
right.
It
Yes.
goes with
Zemeckis and Bob Gale.
him. I don't
Yeah.
think they're ever touching that.
They're not. They're
That's what Zemeckis
that's
said.
untouchable. You cannot reboot that, just like you cannot reboot
they would
Star
try.
Wars.
Oh, they would try.
If
Back to the Future?
it wasn't under lock and key, I guarantee you they would try.
And would start Timothy Chalamet. Crap.
Ooh, what would be the car of the future in Back to the Future? Like it was a DeLorean.
Tesla.
No.
Now he's all for it. Now he's on board.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm on board.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
they got the plan, Tesla. and they
Back to
could
the
just-
Future.
Yeah.
It's Marty in a Tesla jacket.
So
What are you trying to say? I like my Tesla jacket.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
So-
Ghostbusters.
That's the next thing I could see Elon Musk trying to buy. He's like, all right, X didn't work out. I'm gonna buy Back to the Future off Bob Gale, and then run it into the ground, like I did.
So Sean,
I enjoyed it. I thought McKenna Grace was great, like she was in Afterlife.
Yeah.
There was less of the kid from Stranger Things, which was good because
Finn Wolfhound.
yeah, I think he was like in the Afterlife. He was like, "Oh, I'm riding high on Stranger Things. I'm hot shit." But
Yeah,
then
he
in
was.
the course of nothing happening in his life between then and now,
Yeah.
has realized that McKenna Grace has much more star power.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Absolutely.
It was good. And coming from a place of like reading comic books where nothing is allowed to grow, like everything has to kind of like everything just eventually gets put back in the box for the next writer to take it out of the box, do something interesting, and make sure that before they're done they put it back in the box.
Okay.
I've actually enjoyed recent movies that allow characters. It's nice seeing the Ghostbusters old. It's nice that they're passing the torch instead of like, let's just reboot it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hate the second Independence Day movie because I just thought it was interesting to see that world 20 years later. That's it. Like, I was just like,
Oh,
I didn't watch it. I can't say
the
anything.
fact that they killed off Will Smith's character.
Spoiler.
I actually, Rob was a big Will Smith fan, and I don't know if you've ever talked about it, but how did you feel about the slap? Because you were like a
Oh, that was
Smith fanboy.
1990. That was the early 2000s, man. That's a long time.
Hey, you
ago.
were a big
No,
Will Smith
the
fan.
slap?
The Oscar slap.
Oh, the slap. We talked about it on here.
Slap heard around the
Was
world.
it while you guys were reviewing Battlestar Galactica?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So nobody heard it.
I've
Let's,
only
let's
seen
rehash.
the original series. I have the new
They're
series.
very different. They're very different. It might be too dark for you. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
very confused because there's a couple like movies
Yeah.
in the middle, and I don't know where those fit. So I haven't
Ask,
started
ask
watching.
him. He'll
Okay.
he'll set you up.
The next generation is Marvel, and Battlestar Galactica is DC.
Oh well, then I'm going home
No.
and I'm burning those DVDs.
Is that
actually,
off base? I
that's-
don't feel like it's
that's-
off
It's
base.
not off base, but if we go by quality of film, then it's off base.
I'm thinking more tone,
Dark
execution,
Knights,
like
Man of
storytelling. It's darker. It's more.
Marvel,
it's edgier.
Marvel can be pretty dark in their comics.
And I'm talking. I don't know.
You're talking about
No
the
wonder you don't
movies.
like him.
I enjoyed The Dark Knight, but can I just say that I did not like Nolan's inability to make anything look like Gotham? I love Tim Burton's
The first
Gotham.
one was good for
Sure.
Gotham.
Yeah, I actually
But
prefer.
that's Tim
Second,
Burton's
second one, it was
Gotham.
just Chicago.
I prefer the first. The
Batman
the
Begins.
Katie Holmes one.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
we,
yeah,
we all
Batman
know.
Begins.
I do too.
Yeah, because they do the Narrows, and the Narrows looks like Gotham.
Well, it's the narrows. It's the way it was edited. It's the way it was shot. The way the story was told. It was much more of a fluent film than the other two. Actually, I was on a podcast that aired this
How
past Wednesday.
dare you.
Talk Punch.
Talk
We're
Punch.
so off.
And
yeah.
one of my the subject was what movies got a sequel or what movies did not get a sequel that you're like upset about that didn't have an opportunity. And my third pick was the Dark Knight original potential third sequel.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, because I did not like Dark Knight Rises all that much.
My biggest problem, I can understand Batman retiring if his body was completely broken down and he
3
couldn't
times
fight.
in one film.
No, can you stop? Can you stop?
A mouth breather.
Can you stop?
He was a mouth breather.
Gosh, I don't even want to talk to you right now. I don't even want to talk to you.
You got-
that wasn't my favorite film either, but I feel like there's ways you could have made it better. Like, he never actually retired. He kept fighting until his body basically broke down, and we're at the start of the film where he's using a cane because he can't fight anymore. But instead, he just stopped fighting after The Dark Knight, and that was stupid.
But he also stopped fighting for his parents with their company.
Oh, my... Yes, exactly.
That's asinine.
Yeah.
That's the one thing Bruce Wayne would definitely not do.
Yeah.
He might give up the crime fighting, but he's not giving up the chicks and pussy.
Absolutely.
Never do it.
Joe
That
dropping
was
truth
that
bombs.
was an act, though. That wasn't a part of him. That wasn't really Bruce Wayne.
Oh, that was Bruce Wayne.
Well, that was Bruce Wayne. That was the character of Bruce Wayne. But that's not Batman.
Yeah.
Except for Batman in that one comic with Batgirl. Ooh.
That,
And
that,
oh, wait,
that wasn't in the comic.
that was the movie. That
was
was
the movie.
The Killing Joke, the movie. Or with Catwoman.
Whoa, man.
I was just say, go get it, Batman.
Yeah. Anyways, X-Men 97.
Loved it. No notes.
Oh wow, great review.
Loved it. No notes.
Yeah. Would you say it is a good spiritual successor to the original?
It's like they didn't miss a beat.
Right?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So
Would
are
you
they
even call it a
focusing-
spiritual
And
successor?
the
or
thing that I truly love is that, like, I get it. Everybody loves Hugh Jackman. But the X-Men aren't just Wolverine.
No.
And so I feel like in these first 2 episodes, they went hard on showing you how cool Cyclops and Storm are.
Which you never heard in the sentence before.
Well, and
Cyclops
I heard they
cool.
did a great job with Cyclops. Like, he's the true leader of the X-Men now.
It's true. He's the Captain America of the X-Men.
Which is why he was always a hard character
He's
to
like
write.
Wolverine is Snake Eyes and Cyclops is Storm Shadow. Much preferred by most people.
In what world? Oh, but a counter argument to the Wolverine thing.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, though.
Oh, he's fantastic. I don't think they should. I'm very concerned about a recast.
Oh,
I
man.
just prefer there's enough X-Men characters out there that they don't ever have to go there. I know they
Could
will
you
because
see-
they
yeah,
can't
I was
keep
gonna
away
say-
from that.
Could you see them doing an X-Men without Wolverine though?
There's tons of characters they should be able
The
to.
thing is
With
like,
good writing.
Yeah, but the problem is that like your X-Men fans, like people like me that have been reading the comics their whole lives, would be fine.
It's
But
the
your
regular fan.
regular, which is the majority of the folks, you know.
See,
Well,
like,
there's
like-
another character, I'm sure, and you would know better than I would, that you could substitute in there to keep that palette there until you get to Wolverine.
He's already out there. You know exactly who he is.
who?
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
Okay, so here's
But
my.
wait.
So, not in the comic books, he was created and like wasn't the jokey character until a few years later. And the creator of him is a whole. We could go off on this for the co-creator of Deadpool is. He's a whole other thing. And the whole thing was kind of a rip-off thing, but he thinks he's like created the greatest character ever.
Yeah.
And everything that people love about the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, none of it came from that initial version. The initial version was like Snake Eyes with Spider-Man's mask.
Yeah.
That's what the character was.
Yeah.
He was like a mercenary, like didn't
Never talked.
joke around,
Yeah.
talked, but like it wasn't that great. I mean, it's not Ryan Reynolds. And that's the other problem. Like people go back to the comics and expecting it to be like Ryan Reynolds funny.
yeah.
And it's like it's comic book writer funny.
Yeah. Comic book writer funny.
So it's like X-Men Legends, Wolverine, Deadpool.
Yeah, it's just it's the character's weird. I'm not the biggest fan in the medium of like breaking the fourth wall. So
Okay.
like comic book wise, he's never been my favorite character.
Yeah.
Although I have it on good authority in the Halloween of 1993, I dressed up as Gambit, and my friend dressed up as Deadpool, homemade costume that his mom made
Nice,
because
nice.
the character like just.
I remember that picture.
And we sent that picture to the creators before the first movie came out. And they were like, yeah, that's probably the first Deadpool cosplay in your little red sweatpants and your toy swords. And
Did
he had
you-
his glasses on over the mask.
Did you wear a bare midriff for Gambit like they did in the cartoon,
No,
which
I
is
did not.
enraged the homophobes?
Really?
Oh yeah, all
Really?
over X and Twitter, they are pissed about Gambit being like, Gambit isn't gay, Gambit isn't bisexual. It's
Hang
like,
on.
have you seen Gambit?
Wait, because he wore a cutoff shirt?
Yes.
Have they not read? So those outfits from them playing the basketball game are directly from X-Men number 4 in 1991, first appearance of Omega Red.
Well, no, he's right, and that style was out there
are
in that
I
time
know.
frame.
That is a direct.
I don't disagree with you, but if you go on social media,
Yeah, no,
man,
trust
they
me.
are furious.
I
And
looked.
they,
at
I mean the
things
homophobes.
on social media after that came out. And
Yeah.
It was just like because the same thing was said. This was the part that cracked. I was just like, oh, it made me laugh so much. Magneto's costume when he's a good guy with the arm things.
Yeah.
Lots of people out. Magneto wouldn't dress like that. It's like that is directly from the comics in the 80s where he went on trial in front of the UN.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Does the UN do nothing like they do in the real world? Hey,
Hey.
we've talked about that last week, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tend to when it comes to because the problem is like as much as I'm like her, Sydney I'm gonna Beetlejuice her into the room when I say this.
That's one.
Yeah,
Gosh.
there's a lot of people out there
I would record this and send it to her.
that have never read a comic book that just love when the TV shows or movies come out to just go on social media and make themselves basically look stupid by
Yeah.
being like, that would never happen.
All right.
But meanwhile, there's 60 years of continuity that proves otherwise.
So your argument is that fans of comic book movies are inferior to comic
absolutely.
book. Wow.
No.
What an elitist.
What I have a problem with is people that go out there and are just like shitting on something and then anytime someone tries to like be like, well, technically no, because I even saw that where people were like, that costume is actually comic book accurate.
Yeah.
And then they shut up, nerd.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about the comic books.
And people care deeply about the comic books, which is why these are popular in the first place. If you didn't have a built-in audience, Marvel would have never succeeded in the movies. Like you had to have a base audience where you're like, well, we'll at least make 40 million off of Iron Man, and then all of a sudden it becomes
was weird that Iron Man because I saw like the midnight it came out. Theater was like me and 10 other people.
right.
And
And it
was
blew
weird
up,
to see
yeah.
like it felt like the Beatles over the weekend, where you were just
Rob, the Beatles are a band from England in the 60s.
Actually,
Liverpool.
you know what's funny? I was going to bring up a subject either this week or next of what I'm currently listening to their catalog. That's far superior to the Beatles, and I can't wait for you guys to give me crap.
Oh, my God.
please bring it up this week while I'm here.
Please.
So
Yeah,
I
we
get
got-
to scream at my.
I'll give you a hint.
time.
An album cover is right there.
Oh my gosh, is that Mariah?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, Mariah's.
Are you suggesting that
Wow,
Mariah...
that is worse than any of my takes I've ever
No,
had.
no,
Yes.
it's not. No, it's not. You said Chicago was more influential than Metallica.
Okay.
You said
Ron Howard's a better
Ron
director.
Howard's the greatest director of all time.
He's saying Mariah Carey has a better catalog than the Beatles.
Yeah, that's Nick level. That is, it's not worse, but it's certainly on the Mount Rushmore of.
She's got longevity, that's for sure over him.
Well,
No, she doesn't.
Talking
Yes,
shit. Life-wise,
Well, career-wise,
Life-
career-wise, she does. Because the Beatles
Not-
were only like
not
together.
quality output. What's
Oh,
her
yeah,
quality
that's different.
output? 1991 to
1994?
1989 to 1998.
If you try to
that's
say
Rainbow.
early
Did
Mariah,
she-
No, 98 was Honey. So yeah, you got to at least get to Rainbow before you say the quality drop.
these are bad.
No.
Whoa, quality
Honey-
dropped at Rainbow, baby.
Well, it started to. I agree, but that's where you start the conversation.
Quality. You could see the cracks there in
Her
Honey.
mental state, yes.
And it's
So we're making fun of mental illness now.
like
No.
honey.
We're saying
No.
That video
That'll do
though.
it for you?
That video though.
You can't go off video.
is that the jet ski video?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the. God, that video is so good.
Oh, I know which one you're talking
That
about.
video is so good.
All right, can we take a breather
Yes. Whew. I need to breathe.
and just take a quick breath and go into some Star Trek reviewing?
Oh
Commercial.
Can we do that? All right, Rob needs a breather.
God, you guys don't listen to me.
We're gonna be right back.
Ship my pants. Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed. If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
All right, Rob, have you caught your breath?
Okay, before we go into the reviews, can I just bring something up?
No.
We discussed this last week. We don't need to mention that we're going into commercial breaks. These are built
I understand that.
in. And yet you still say we're...
The problem is we haven't had natural stops in our tone. You guys keep talking, which is why I have to say
No.
we're going into a commercial break.
He's actually got a point.
I actually have a good point. Our first 30 minutes, there was not... I was
now a
think-
word from our sponsor. Oh, it's not a sponsor.
Shoot, Joe. Our sponsor.
Oh, yes. Now a word from our sponsor.
Oh, my God.
Hey, we get paid.
Okay.
For this?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, my God. Yes, we do have us presenting... The Star Trek reviews presented by Family...
Video exclusive.
Video exclusive. Presented by Video Exclusive. Facebook.com/video exclusive. They
Your
have
place.
Your place for all of your physical media needs.
Yes.
They have VHS, DVD,
Emphasis on
Blu-ray.
physical.
Yes, for some people, their physical needs are met there as well.
Yes.
Let Joe get through his thing.
Physical media needs and physical needs if the media is the way that you meet those needs.
Because this isn't just... There are family videos there, but there are
they have
videos for adults.
They have
too.
videos for families. They have videos for adults. They have videos. They have video games.
Do they have Marvel films?
No,
they
they
only
don't.
stock
They don't
good
care.
movies.
Yeah, they only stock good movies. No, because Sean's rented them all.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
I got the Batman 4K from Video Exclusive.
Nice.
They have an online site.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
where you can buy
Facebook.
stuff. Yeah.
Facebook.com.
Yeah.
/video exclusive.
Yeah.
Go to Video Exclusive.
Buy-
Follow their page. They post stuff regularly.
Really good prices.
And
Really good.
I mean, they post VHS tapes.
I know.
If you're collecting VHS, they post DVDs, Blu-ray, 4K, which Rob and I know you can't stream the quality of 4K.
You cannot.
8K,
You cannot replicate
12K.
that.
You cannot.
16K.
You can't replicate the sound
No one
And
is
the
asking
video
for your
quality.
review of 4K. We're asking for you to sponsor.
Video Exclusive has paid me for my review of 4K to promote
False.
The physical media, you
physical-
jackass.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
idiot.
Best
So-
commercial ever.
So go to facebook.com, Video Exclusive. Follow them for their posts. They post stuff regularly. You can they're local in Michigan, in the Metro Detroit area on Telegraph Road in Dearborn Heights.
I'm gonna go like them right now.
Look at this.
Hey,
Look at that.
This is the best use of the internet on this show, and Nick uses the internet all show long, every show.
It's true.
Hey, Nick, do you want to go over a summary of Star Trek The Next Generation?
Done. Followed.
Skin of Evil. The Enterprise receives a distress signal from a shuttlecraft which has Deanna
I
Troy
think
on
they have
it.
a movie named Skin of Evil there.
They find the shuttle. It's on a planet, and they send an away team down, and there's no signs of life there. And they get there, and all of a sudden there's this tar-like substance there, and it follows them everywhere they go. Well, this life form rises up. His name is Armis, and he is not happy.
Armis Shimmerman.
Armis is not a good man, and they're trying to get around him, and he's not letting them. And then Tasha Yar, the superior security officer that she is, says, "I'm just going to go around you." And she gets blasted. She's blasted. Blasted. And then they're like, "We got to beam off of here. We got to save her." And they try to save her, and they're shocking her, and they're doing all this, and it doesn't work. She dead. Tasha Yar dead. And they immediately promote Worf to security officer, and he immediately does a better job, unfortunately. And
I'd say fortunately.
their goal is to make Armis think about why he was stranded on this planet in the first place. And as they make him think about this, his ability to create force fields lowers and lowers and lowers. And it finally ends with Picard being like, "You're going to die here alone." "Oh, wait, you can't die." And then he beams out of there. And Armis goes, "No!" Deanna Troy lives. Everyone lives. "Oh, wait, no, everyone doesn't live. Tasha Yar be dead." And it ends with Tasha Yar giving a little memorial saying, "Hey, I'm going to miss you all. I love you guys. Here's my peace out letter." And it conveniently covers every single person who attends the memorial, even Wesley for some reason.
Well, interesting enough, though, only the bridge crew was invited to this memorial. Only the bridge crew knew her.
We're not getting into reviews yet. So it ends with that. The end.
You want my review? It stinks. This episode sucks ass. I sent out a distress call watching this thing.
Really?
Really?
I enjoyed this episode.
This episode sucked.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. The
You
black
suck.
tar thing, it was so
creepy.
cheesy.
That was creepy.
No, it wasn't.
It was
cheesy
creepy. It was
as
well
shit.
done.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
The voice was cool.
The voice was
No,
really
this
cool.
episode
He took
sucked.
out the best character on the show.
This
You guys
episode
ever get Denise Crosby on the
You
show?
guys actually
He's
like
out,
this
I'm
episode?
in.
I know, right? Exactly.
I don't like it as much as I think they did, but I don't hate it nearly as much as you do.
I
think
thought this
that's
was
become his move.
one of the cheesiest episodes we've watched this season.
See, I actually thought there were some
I
things really,
disagree.
really done well in this episode, which going into it, I thought I remembered hating this episode, but as I'm watching it last night, I'm like, I don't hate this.
The only thing that I really liked about the episode was the conversation between Picard and is it Armis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the conversation between Troy and Armis was pretty
Oh
good
yeah.
too.
Troy, this was a moment for Troy to shine as a character. There's
I
hasn't been
At
many.
the expense of Tasha Yar.
I think that
There is a lot of truth to that, right? This is her last role, and we give her like 5
I
lines.
was shocked.
I actually wrote that down too. It's
Worst
like,
last episode, Tasha Yar or the why am I blanking on DS9?
oh, hold on, don't
Jadzia Dax.
don't. You just did it.
I don't know who that is.
Not cool.
It's all right.
It's
I didn't
okay.
say-
You'll forget
didn't-
it by the time you watch it.
I got 6 seasons of Next Generation to get to
Yeah.
before I can jump into
You'll
Deep
forget
Space
what
Nine.
he's talking about.
Yeah.
But
Never forget that you guys were like, you can start watching Deep Space Nine now. There's not a big spoiler.
There's
there,
really
a
we
minor
not.
said there might
spoiler.
be one, like just a very quick one.
There's not, if you
To
didn't,
be fair, Rob spoiled it for
to be
me.
fair,
so
you
I'm
watched
just
First Contact, so
I'm
shut
passing
up.
the torch.
Oh, if you watch First Contact, it's not a spoiler at
Remember,
all.
because that's when I was like, I don't remember Tasha. You guys were like, who's your favorite on Next Gen? And I was like, Tasha Yar.
He's wearing the shirt
And
and
you were
everything.
like, and I was like, but I don't remember her from the movies. And the text chain just went dead.
Ironically,
Tasha Yar.
ironically,
Silence. Okay, so a couple things. Do you think the reason why Tasha Yar didn't have a lot of lines is because Denise Crosby actually quit? And do you think there was like a little animosity towards her about this?
Is there anything?
Watch that documentary.
Okay.
Is there anything constructive? Like, is there any sort of real life behind the scenes thing?
I don't have anything here, but apparently the center seats does.
They covered some things. There was no animosity specifically towards Denise Richards, but Maurice Hurley.
Denise Crosby.
Sorry.
I've got.
He's got animosity towards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no animosity specifically towards her, but towards women, there might have been. So, and she wasn't getting it. The goal of the show when they first started doing it was not to dive so much into the characters, but more so tell a story poorly, but not really get to know the characters. And Denise Crosby wanted to leave because her character was having nothing to do, which was kind of the design of the show early on.
Yeah.
Until Michael Piller came in season 3 and started to try to change the way the show went.
Yeah.
So animosity, not so much at her, but more so kind of a vibe on the show.
The ladies.
Yeah.
Well, she did describe her time as miserable on Star Trek Next Generation.
That's a bummer.
And it was well known. It says it was well known at the time that she was unhappy with the way her role was developed. She later said if she had more scenes written for her similar to the one she shared with Worf, I
just said all that.
Not the Worf thing.
Yeah.
The scene she has with Worf at the beginning. If she had more scenes like that, she wouldn't have wanted to leave the show.
And that was a good scene.
She looked like she was ready to bang Worf.
She looked him up and down.
She's ready to bang almost every character. Remember, she did that with Picard earlier. If you weren't the captain,
and she did Data.
And she came from a planet where basically to survive, you had to,
Well, that talks
Isn't
about
that kind of what humanity does? In order for humanity to survive, you gotta,
Yeah, that's a good
What
point.
also tells you how stupid these writers were.
They evolve her to that.
That's the one consistent thing they decided to drive
with
on.
Tasha Yar, yeah, exactly.
Written by
but she
incels.
did. She wanted to get with Worf, and that's before she knew he has 2.
Spoiler.
You don't ever find that out in Next Generation. That's a Discovery thing, isn't it?
That's a Discovery thing. So is
Beyond
it
Cap
canon?
2.
So wait, did you say is it canon?
Is it canon if it's in Discovery?
Wait, so until Discovery, we were under the assumption he only had one dick.
Well, we didn't know what they have.
Well, because in Discovery they had to dumb it down and make it terrible.
And there's a Cleon sex scene.
Yeah, you
in
can see
Discovery.
Cleon boob.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
Yeah.
Grilka?
It's literally
No, not Grilka.
It's terrible.
Do they have 3? Do they have more than?
I would
do they have
never
4?
want you to watch Discovery.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, never watch it. It defeats everything that is Star Trek, in my opinion. Like,
look at Nick come around.
It's like you like
This
for
is-
instance, Picard or Riker is a horn dog. We know he's a horn dog. You don't have to show it. They have to show it in Discovery. Like the more skin they show, the more like it makes it better. And it's like you don't have to do that.
What do you mean they don't have to show it? He's been in, he
No.
eye fucks every single female character he comes in.
You don't have
contact
to
with.
show them actually doing it though, right?
Well, this wasn't streaming. This was.
It
on
doesn't
TV.
matter.
He's been in
this
bed
is
with
the
multiple
prude in me.
women.
You don't need to always show
See-
everything. There's nothing to be gained from
I
it.
would
You can
argue
imply things.
Enterprise actually did more skinny things than Discovery did. Just Discovery took a lot
But
of
Enterprise
leaps.
did not do well.
It
yeah.
took a lot of leaps of story and plot, and was lazy with its writing. Or I haven't watched. Obviously, the new season comes out next month, but it was really dumbed down Trek, and I'm not into that.
Okay.
Anyway,
So
Speaking of dumbed down Trek, let's go back to this
stop
episode.
it. So I want to give you some creature effect stuff as well. The costume that was designed for Armis was actually used
You
with.
need to say costume in quotations, please.
They used a water soluble Metamucil material, which was dyed black using printer's ink. And the guy who was in the costume, his name was Mart McChesney. They actually had a hard time breathing in it. He would be cut off from
no shit.
oxygen, so they had to limit the amount of time he filmed the scenes.
It looked like he was wearing an oil blanket.
I thought it was a good look. I mean, obviously it's very stagnant, but I thought it was a good, intimidating look.
Yeah.
That so
I was not intimidated at all. Oh my god! It was,
as you've known from previous experiences, I usually watch these with a kid who was under 2.
Yes.
And he betrayed me.
Oh.
even he thought it stunk.
He, when Tasha Yar died, sat up, looked at me, and went.
Did he give you that face
He
too?
clapped. He clapped when he died, and so then I just let him continue watching it. And later on, when he couldn't sleep that night, and Ashley asked me, "Hey, what do you think happened that's making him not sleep tonight?" I did
sad.
not mention the oil slick monster that we watched.
Keep your mouth shut. Nothing happened with a giant oil slick monster.
You didn't think it was cool when he was like rising up out of it? The voice was...
That was actual like practical effects, man. That happened.
I understand. Maybe CGI isn't that bad then. Maybe we should mix it in every once in a while.
I thought for the production value, for what they had,
there was no production value.
They did a great job.
Did you see the background of the planet they were on?
That happens with almost all of them because they spent so much of their
they
money on the Enterprise.
$300 of their budget on the oil slick blanket.
Joe believes Armis is the Dave Matthews music of villains.
See, that's not funny because you don't even believe that.
I know. But they don't know that. The listeners don't know that.
Dave Matthews. This is Armis playing the drums.
This is what it would sound like if he did play the drums. If he was like, yeah, I'm lonely, I started a one-man band, and he just started playing, that was what it would sound like.
So, let's talk about some actual stuff related to this episode. Armis. We're led to believe he's the embodiment of true evil because a civilization basically took all their evil thoughts and all their evilness, put it into him, and then left him, right? Is that what we're led to believe? I was kind of confused by that part of the story.
They said that in the episode, that later they kind of said no, they just kind of saw he was a bad dude and said, peace, we don't want you around us.
He was just bad and they didn't, yeah.
Because my understanding, Armis said the civilization he comes from is like highly advanced.
Yes.
And so he was part of the civilization. Were they all tar people then?
Tar and feather.
Tar and feather people. And that's the thing. I don't think they do a really good job explaining like how he came to be. Why? Like, we know he was abandoned by his people, but like,
that's all we need to know, actually, I think, in the long run, because think how much better the Joker was without knowing his actual true origin.
Okay, that's fine with me, but then don't spend any time really talking about the other people that left him or how he was the embodiment of true evil and all. Don't do that.
I think you're right, and I was okay with it, just fabricating something else in my own imagination.
And does this track to you that
you guys making eye love to each other?
I have a question. With the ideals of the Federation, does this track to you that they would completely abandon this creature and basically say, nope, no one try to fix this guy, no one try to save this guy?
Yes, and because if they did try to fix it, I would like to retroactively go back to last week and be even more upset because the whole prime directive is you just leave well enough alone. You discover, you take notes, you do nothing else.
You let Tasha get killed.
Well, we can't go back.
You know what? Them's the breaks, bud. Sorry.
I think they tried enough to talk to this creature.
Talk some sense into him.
Yeah.
Yeah. When's the last conversation this creature had?
Well, it's like Man of Steel at the end. He was trying to talk to Zod. Zod wanted to kill. Armis just wants to kill. They tried to reason with him. Didn't work. Yeah. So, peace.
The last line, Picard is like, he's already knows he's getting beamed out. The other crew's already gone. And then he just has to drop that last line. By the way, you're going to be here forever. As he beams out. It's like, a little.
Well, you got to realize Picard's actually, probably pretty pissed off at this point.
He's hurt.
They lost the best character on the show.
Next to
be replaced by a chief security officer who didn't even have the stones to go down there. What a bitch.
No, he was making a tactical decision.
I don't know. He was like, the last chief security officer got killed. I think I'm going to stay safe on this ship.
I think I'm going to hang out with Wesley for an episode.
No, he made a tactical decision because they had to try to analyze the situation.
Tasha Yar's solution to everything is to fight them and try to do backflips try to flip them over her back and phaser stun them. That's always her solution. She's always the gung ho one who runs, and that's what gets her killed in this episode. I don't care. I'm not listening to this guy. I'm just going.
And in real life, that would get her killed in this in these scenarios.
Yeah. So it's like the importance of keeping your mouth shut and thinking a little bit before you act. Tasha can't do that.
So she's dead. We killed her.
She's dead. Ned is dead.
That's the best part of the episode.
I do like about Armis that they made him evil. I mean, they went through everything.
Truly evil, yeah.
Yeah, they can't. He wanted her to suffer, so he was sad that she didn't suffer. She died too easy. I killed her because it amused me and things like that. I thought they did a really good job of making it say, no, this dude's not really redeemable, man. Don't
Yeah.
waste your time on him.
Right, and that's like because originally when Deanna's having her conversation with him, and he's like, "I killed her because it amused me," and she's like, "But it didn't amuse you." And you think they're going to go with the whole, "Oh, he realizes that killing isn't the answer," but it's really she didn't suffer.
Yeah.
That's
it was
why
too boring.
easy.
it was
too
easy.
boring.
So then he throws Will Riker in tar and makes him suffer for a while, and that's not good, clearly, for William Riker.
No.
Season 1 of this
Not a good
series,
lubricant for him.
Season 1 is so bad that if this was the last episode of season 1 and they didn't renew it, wouldn't it be great if if Armish just killed everybody in Tar?
That would be a surprise.
They bring Armis back in a Lower Decks episode, actually. It's pretty funny.
Didn't you guys say they were gonna like kill off everybody and recast? Wasn't there like a?
There
Was this the episode?
No, one of the producers who gets fired after season 2 wanted to kill off everyone after season 1 and recast because he thought they were all
start over.
Which is kind of like ridiculous because you see some of the like these characters are starting to come into their own.
Yeah.
Like Deanna
Are they?
Troy, they are. Picard was good in this episode. Troy was good in this episode.
He's still
Data was solid
I
in
thought
this
Picard was great in this episode.
I know, but he's still like just.
He has a presence though. Like
You've
see,
not seen anything past this, right? No movies,
No.
nothing. Okay.
No.
with Picard.
So I mean, how much of it is you guys looking back?
I mean,
being like,
Yes.
it
I
could
mean,
be.
I know nothing. No movies, no season 2 and beyond. Right now, he is boring. He is just,
That's not going to change.
but like not even boring with like a character to him. He's just very tactical, and that's it. There's no depth to him, and there's no depth to almost any of these characters.
Well, to my point,
Troy's getting a little better.
she got a lot better from like the emotional
The first-
outburst
the
the first 2 episodes.
The first probably 5 or 10 episodes, she was borderline useless.
Yeah.
Like there was like didn't know what her role was.
Yeah.
Some people are coming into their roles, but I don't know. It's
I will say I'm midway through season 2 because I skip ahead because I'm enjoying it too much. You'll like it.
I mean, there's
more
7
if it's
seasons of it, so I'm
going.
assuming it gets better. And from what I've heard, once the good writing team comes in, things really start to pick up. But I mean, this is not good.
It's no Reba. That's what he's trying to say.
It's no Reba.
No
It's not. It's my new one is Laverne and Shirley. It's no Laverne and Shirley either.
I get that. So the thing that I think about this is you talk about no character depth. The original series, the characters were not that deep.
But they had
They
interaction.
were not that deep.
They had charm with each other though.
It doesn't take away from what they were. Like they were still solid. You didn't get a lot of emotional depth to James T. Kirk.
When he thought he killed Spock, you did.
Did you? You didn't get backstory. You didn't get these things with these characters.
I don't know.
That doesn't come till later.
Maybe, but I like the cast certainly gelled more.
Yes, right away.
Like right away.
Yes, absolutely.
And I chalk that up just to the fact that like in the first episode, these people are put together.
Yeah.
So it's getting there.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that it's getting there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And even though they may not have the depth in the original series, they had a charm, and they had a camaraderie already.
Yeah, Kirk had
A charisma.
He
and
oozed charisma.
he also had like a playful relationship with Spock, Bones, like the rest of the bridge crew, where like
Picard's not.
kind of
And they
stick
did-
up his ass,
And they did that
for
on
a long
purpose
time.
to make him the anti-Kirk.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and it hurts his character a little bit. They lean a little too far into it. And
It is
I'm-
weird because watching this, like I prefer old Patrick Stewart, like
Yeah.
old man Patrick, because like he's lived some life, had some fun.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's no fun.
Well, this
There's
is
no
part
fun
of the
in these
character
episodes.
growth that you kind of get to experience over the 7 seasons of Next Generation. So like it is going to be a journey, and hopefully
Yeah,
by the
and-
end you find him a better captain.
No, I'm not writing the series off like I did Scrubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, right now, this is not. if this is it, if this was like how the series was for 7 seasons,
Yeah.
I can't see the justification for the reverence that the series has.
Well, and it doesn't
sense.
help that we come from watching 2 series where the captains, the commanders, the admirals are very different people who are very attached to their crew, who will do anything for their crew. And then you have Picard, who gives speeches every week about, the true evil is when you don't fight. The true evil is when you do. The true evil, like, no, Armis is pretty evil, man. Like, that is truly evil. Like, you don't need to give a speech about
Did you say something was truly evil, Nick? You don't believe in that.
Armis was. Armis.
But even
that's okay.
Even
We'll
right
get to that.
even right away though, Cisco and Adama both, they were more animated. They had a bit more vibrancy to them.
Yes.
Okay, but in the first episode of Deep Space Nine, you see what caused. Cisco, you've already got a backstory. I've seen 15 minutes of that show, and I already know more about him than I do about Picard.
Oh, I feel like George.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So.
And more about Kirk in the long run.
But to Rob's point, is it Michael Piller and Ronald D. Moore?
They brought Michael Piller, Ronald Moore.
They were at DS9 from the beginning, right?
No.
Oh,
Michael Piller was
right.
Ronald D. Moore was not.
Okay, so Piller was, and he comes in season 3. So
yeah,
there's almost a little bit of a waiting game for me to see. Okay. But by the time season 3 comes around, I need to at least enjoy the characters. I can't be going week to week just fingers crossed that the story plot is going to be good, so I can enjoy the 45 minutes. I don't have any. There's no looking forward to seeing these characters right now. It's just Hail Mary. Hopefully, this is a good episode.
That sort of makes me sad. I enjoy Data's friendship with Geordi.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's stuff to it.
Like it's developing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like their interactions.
But again, I'm already I just did.
I actually feel like Worf is getting better.
Well, you went
too.
from the original series into the Next
Well, you
Generation,
actually did something this
where he's
episode.
working his way backwards from DS9 to the
That's not
very
my problem.
different tones.
That was your guys' fault for starting with Deep Space Nine.
That's what I'm not.
Well, it was a two-person podcast show at that point.
That's right.
And it was really to get me to watch it again because I was like, I don't really like DS9.
And I called him a dirty whore.
And I am.
Sex worker.
Or was.
You can't say whore.
Oh, that's right. Crack fries?
Okay, so I want to talk about Armis being truly evil. So first of all, I'm going to read you the speech from Picard to Armis. You say you are true evil. Shall I tell you what a true evil is? It is submit to you. It is when we surrender our freedom, our dignity, instead of defying you. I will kill you and those in there, but you will still be here, in this place, forever, alone, immortal. That's your real feel, never to die, never again to be united with those who left you here. And then he says, I'm not taking you anywhere, as he beams out, which is like
I loved when he ripped into him. I was like, go Picard.
Is that true evil, though, to never submit to you? Like, if he's like...
No, to submit to him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that true evil?
No,
like,
it's not, but it's a great speech.
Is it? I don't know. I feel like it's just like using words.
He was
at
talking
him.
shit the entire time. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
And distracting him.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. So, Armis, truly evil.
Well, you know, I believe in truly evil.
I mean, Armis was created to be truly evil, though, was he not? Well, again, we're not. We don't know if.
Yeah, but you don't believe in true evil.
Yeah, so even if you're created to be truly evil, you don't believe in that.
Maybe in this universe, I can believe in true evil. This is a character just designed to hurt and kill and maim.
You don't think there are people like that in the world?
No,
I do.
I think there are people who have been taught to become that way.
So I don't know if you listened to the episode, but like, there's a basic philosophy out there that you get enough time, you could rehabilitate anybody, including like the Hitlers of the world and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. I don't believe that. I think people are bad. They're bad. There's no
people are candy coated bastards.
Well, no,
like
you don't
Dr.
have.
Cox would say.
You have a lifetime to work with, and you can't rehabilitate Jeffrey Dahmer in that lifetime. You can't rehabilitate Harvey Weinstein in that lifetime. You can't rehabilitate Hitler in that lifetime.
Jeffrey Epstein, who definitely killed himself.
Yeah, he totally did. So
you saw it. He hung himself.
I think you could.
I don't think you can.
I think you could. I just think they ran out of time. And the question is, have they done so much damage in the time they were here that even if they were redeemed, does that offset all the pain and
you forgot about what that what was his name? Chris Brown did. Beat the heck out of women.
Who's
People
Chris
like,
Brown?
He's cool.
No, who's Chris Brown now? No one cares about him.
He did for a little bit.
No, he's still featuring on music. His music is still very popular.
Yeah.
It's all about
that was dusted over like it
that was
never
just over
happened.
like the quickness.
It was.
It was very much just
Yeah, but
that
that's
happened,
because
but
we idolize celebrities for some reason.
Yeah.
And
But what
for
is-
no reason?
Chris Brown is a really fascinating one to me because what does he really do that? Like, okay, so
Not that you idolize. Your 45 minutes is pop culture. You need to toss in a normal human accomplishment every week now.
I know exactly. Today we talk about Marie Curie.
I don't know. I used to be on the more on the Nick side of things where it's like, okay, we can rehabilitate everybody. It's just on a longer timeline, and sometimes you run out of time in a lifetime. I don't necessarily don't believe that 100% anymore, but
I don't think
there are some people that I believe are hardwired, and that's the wiring inside is so tangled you're just never gonna get it done.
there
You're
are some
never
people
gonna-
that just want to see the world burn, and there's truth to that statement.
Yes,
And whether it be a
Is that the
minor,
Joker?
that's Joker. But there are
it's DC.
there are different levels of that too, where it's like some people are just jerks to be jerks. That's not evil necessarily, but you're not going to rehabilitate that. They're assholes. That's
To
just
me,
who they are.
to me, those are the easy rehabilitations. Those are people that have been hurt. Those are easy.
Yeah,
People that just want to hurt other people to see them hurt are very much suffering themselves.
Probably.
That's easy. It's people like Jeffrey Dahmer. It's people like
Nick Bonsky.
It's people. It's people like
True evil.
that are just you can't figure it out. It doesn't make sense because you're just not wired that way. I don't think you're gonna change Jeffrey Dahmer. You were
No.
never going to change Jeffrey Dahmer. He was
I'm not
going
saying-
to eat and kill people.
I'm not saying that you should give up on people, but I just think that some of them are just lost, and it's just the way it is.
I agree. That's just the way it is.
Things will never be the same.
Never be Tupac version.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So
Changes.
I'm
changes.
aware.
Changes.
Hornby.
So let's go.
Sean was quiet during the whole thing.
I want to quickly
Because
talk.
I think it's interesting. Earlier, you talked about how when you're dealing with the kids, you're like, if there's a poison in your life, just cut it out. And that's, I mean, I've known you 25 years now, and that's you.
Yeah.
Right?
I will.
And you're deep down a good person, but your defense mechanism, you can deny it all you want.
Very deep
but
down.
there's
He's a good man.
there's
Very
a
deep down,
There's a
though.
Care Bear under there.
Yeah, I like to rub his
I
belly.
just
But you're very much like, I don't have the capacity to try to put up with finding the time to rehabilitate you.
It's not my
because
job.
I've only got so long, so I'm just chugging along doing my thing.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate Nick's standpoint of like, maybe I can. That's part of his personality that makes him who he is.
Well,
I struggle a bit with this because of my faith of like not thinking that there's, and I've actually just even recently from winding up where I'm at had to look at some things that I've like grown up with because of what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
At-
Oh, with the study.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
Just because
Study about the ideas of grace, using grace in our lives.
Grace.
is that a Sunday thing right now? Like your topic?
No, it's our Lenten series on using grace in your life and how do you respond to people and how people respond to you, kind of a thing. And it's been fascinating.
No, I told Nick back in the day when we first talked about this. Like I admire the heck out of him for that ability to have that kind of faith in people. But I'm not going to mess around with that, man.
But I can also believe that and also say, for me, there are times when you do still need to separate yourself from people. It's one thing for me to believe that, in a faith standpoint, that God can work through that person and God's grace will work in them and transform them. It's another thing for me to say, I'm going to stay in their life as they continue to hurt me and harm me, right? There are times where you need to separate yourself because it's not for the betterment of you and for them. But I don't think that means they're ever done being made into something
And that's-
better. Will they realize it in this lifetime? That's the question.
Yeah, I like.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I love that God's grace and everything like that, but you look at someone who, my standpoint, where I look at it, God's more of an absentee landlord, where he doesn't have that influence on things like that. If I believe him, I'm not even sure, depending on the day that day.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so.
But so if everybody's able to be rehabilitated, sometimes is it worth the resources to rehabilitate that person?
That's a humanity question, right?
Or is it more beneficial to humanity to remove or eliminate that person from humanity, whether it's incarcerate for life or whether it's to remove completely, and then it's addition by subtraction, right?
I think how we treat the least and the most broken of us tells us who we are as a people.
There's truth to that.
Okay, so the way that I treat them is I would remove them and eliminate them because I value the people that do good in this world more than I value the people that don't. And I want the world to know that good is valued and evil is not.
There's a way to do that without eliminating those people.
Well,
you
not
can
for the
just leave them on the planet. Picard
No,
was
not for the
basically
Yeah, you just leave them and say, peace!
And I'm not talking
Take
broken
some time to
people.
think about this, Armis.
I'm not
Talk
talking
amongst
about people
yourself.
that have. I'm not talking about armed robbery or, manslaughter.
You're talking about
I'm
murder,
talking
yeah.
about the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
These
And you hear
these
the
are
stories.
these are outliers.
Like
There's-
what happened in Moscow the other day. The 133 dead right now.
Or people who would attack someone and just stab them. Stabbing is a very personal act.
Yes, it is.
And you stab somebody more than once, that's incredibly personal.
Yeah. But my point again isn't to be like, no, we're just going to let you go on your way because I think, things will get better. You do take steps to protect the people around you, to protect yourself. Someone does something bad. Yes, prison or what some, but the problem is our prison system does not rehabilitate. Our prison
You're right.
system
So I've got a question.
exists to punish.
I've got a question about this
it houses.
episode.
But the problem is those people get that way because they've spent their whole life being punished or hurt. Or are there people who have had good lives who still end up doing terrible things? Absolutely. But if you look at our criminal justice system, it's cyclical, okay?
Yeah.
We're not actually fixing the problem. We're just perpetuating it because we don't
there's
rehabilitate.
no solutions here.
Right.
Yeah, when they call it rehabilitation, it's probably the most inaccurate thing in the world.
It is.
Right.
It is.
So to bring it back to this episode, if Picard does nothing and they just leave, right? So they've already lost Tasha, so that blood's on his hands.
On Armis's hands?
No, on Picard.
On Picard's
On
hands.
Picard's hands, yeah.
Now, if he leaves without addressing this evil and it continues on to kill more, every
Death is on Picard.
every death is on, the blood is on Picard's hands from this point forward.
So is there a way?
So how I just don't understand how you can justify, whether you're the Federation, Picard, whatever, how you can justify the Prime Directive in this instance.
Okay,
because he has explicitly said, "I will not stop. I like doing it. I'm doing it for
like
fun."
Zod.
Exactly.
Right. So what is the Prime Directive's mission here? Because
I think it doesn't apply.
Yeah,
because he
I mean,
flies
this is-
so in the face of.
Well, and this is a godlike creature who can snap his fingers and make things happen and all that too. So we don't even know the full extent of the
But
Synth's
how
powers.
could you even move on if you were Picard and be like, "Yeah, I'm just going to move on now and go." What's the next step? We're going to go
Well,
to
the next episode, they act like nothing happened. Like,
Well, every episode.
we're on shore leave now. We all deserve
I know.
a fun
Well,
time. Let's play
hold on.
some
Well, yeah,
swords.
they
said-
after that you need a vacation.
They said they needed much shore leave. Maybe that's why they needed their shore leave.
But I mean, how could you really move on, and knowing that this is just going to kill for fun, continuously until the end of time?
So you've put a warning on this planet, but you haven't taken care of the problem. He's still there.
Oh, you took care of it in one way. Fuck you. You could stay there.
Yeah.
Enjoy
so
your
he's
life.
still there. The problem hasn't been solved. It's been ignored. That's all that's been happened, right? You ignore a bad person. What is a bad person going to continue to do? Bad things. I'm not saying this guy can be rehabilitated. I'm not saying he can be saved, but their solution actually makes the evil more evil because now he's been abandoned twice.
Well, see, here's the thing. They had movie potential here, like a con thing. You should have came back in the movies with a vengeance.
Well, you could have. Yeah.
I mean, that's a built-in thing right there.
Armis. He comes back in Lower Decks. Check it out. There's a good. It's a fun little thing. Did you see that one with
Yes, I
Armis? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Should we take a quick breather and then go into the next episode? I mean, we could talk forever on this, but
Guest, do you have anything to add to this episode? Since this is why you want to come on for this episode.
I just wanted to defend Tasha Yar because I knew you guys were going to be like, it stinks.
she kind of goes. Oh, so I do appreciate how, there's something to be said. We've talked about this with the deaths of characters in DS9, like the suddenness of it, the just how it happens. There's something to be said about the powerful nature of that. Like, there's no build up to the death of Tasha Yar. She gets that line at the beginning with Worf. I already knew she was dying in this episode, so I didn't really, I'm like, oh, that's why they give her this line. But if you didn't know this was happening, you probably wouldn't have thought anything of that exchange between her and Worf, right?
No.
Like, it's a very normal exchange.
I expected it. Like, I knew it was coming because I had, like, everyone radio silence when I was like, I really like Tasha Yar.
Yeah.
We were just foreshadowing what was happening.
So I was just...
she's a great character. You're going to really love her in season 4.
Disappointed how quickly it happened.
But isn't that life?
Because, yeah, it is. 100%.
Is that what your wife said?
Yeah.
That's what she said. Sorry, we make those jokes sometimes.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We are children.
I know. I'm aware. I've watched
the
show.
But you're disappointed in how quickly her death happened.
I mean, I'm not disappointed in it because you make a good point. That is life. I was just going by TV rules. I was like, damn, that was quick. That was like...
No, we need TV movie rules of it has to be drawn out and she gets a monologue. And
but she does at the end of the episode.
Oh, we haven't even touched on that cheese factor of that. That was
cheesy.
Garbage.
That was cheesy.
Was that bad?
I wasn't a fan.
Yeah,
it was rough.
Especially because her hologram looks directly at all of that.
Were they in heaven? I mean, is it blue skies?
It's a hologram.
Plug your ears.
Earmuffs.
She gets a much better send up, I think. Which it's not a matter of what's the Data one that I just watched. I was just talking to you guys about it.
Measure Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just because of everyone's reaction.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have a question. I don't know if I just missed it or in her. Did she skip Riker?
No, she said Riker. Her thing to Riker was like, "You were always a lot of fun, and you always made me laugh."
Which is more speaking to Jonathan Frakes, I think, because he's always the goofball on the set.
Yeah, so that scene felt more like she was speaking to the actors than it did the characters.
Yeah,
which I didn't like.
Well, they I guess Sirtis and Gates' tears were real because they were just dealing with her leaving the show too. Is what Memory Alpha said.
I would have been like, "You quit. You're dead to me." That's what I would have been like as an actor. You dead.
I think it was female solidarity if it was that.
Yeah, I think it was like, please don't leave us.
Don't leave me with Johnny Frakes.
They're going to bring on Diane Mulder. Please don't leave.
Oh, gosh. I like Pulaski.
I didn't realize she was in the original series.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
She was kind of a smoke show back in the day, too, if you look at some older pictures of her.
True.
All right. Can we
Not
take
so much in the next gen.
Can we take a quick breather and go into the next episode? Can we do that?
We got any commercials coming up? We should announce
that.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I was just going to try to get around. All right.
I got it! Wow!
Here it is, the USS Flag aircraft carrier. Imagine being on the deck of this aircraft carrier.
The USS Flag is fantastic! It's so big! Forward there! Little monsters! Get ready to launch aircraft! Where's the Admiral? Not here! G.I. Joe! Fire! We saw Cobra! Joe!
USS Flag aircraft carrier comes with what you see here. Other figures and equipment sold separately.
Joe!
Okay, so now we're into the next episode. We'll always have...
Hey, did the commercial air?
Yes, there was a commercial airing. Okay, seriously, though.
Okay,
this goes back to this argument. If there's moments where we take deep breaths, the first 32 minutes, there was not a moment where I could have taken a break because we all don't shut up.
You don't... Listen, you don't need a break in time. You just need to note the time because you break the...
There was no breaks. There's no subtle break because we switch from one topic. We go interchangeably between topics. We're talking about Batman now. No, we're back to Marvel.
Listen, stop.
There is a natural break in the show when you switch from the pop culture portion to the first episode of Star Trek, and then between the first and second episode,
hold on.
There is another
Yes.
I need to be the executive producer of the show for a second. So listen, now I'm dead fucking
Is there
serious.
anybody who wants to be a producer? By the way, we
No, I got
734-494-0980.
If you guys would listen to me, I would do this fine.
It's unpaid.
Listen,
This is uncomfortable for me.
listen.
Watching my parents divorce.
We are. Listen, you are the natural conductor of this program. Okay, you don't want. You are the natural conductor of this program. So you are the natural. So you get.
That's the last one. I'm done.
So you dictate the pace. So when we start, right? When we moved through pop culture news and into reviews.
I appreciate the
You
lecture.
should put a commercial right here.
I appreciate the lecture.
So you can say, should we move into reviews? And Rob and I immediately we
Joe,
hush.
are you mad at me or are you just disappointed?
I'm disappointed. And then you say, when we move to reviews, then say, okay, next episode. So then you can have
another one.
Another one. It doesn't need to be a break. That brief moment between should we move to episode 2 and then your summary is where you put the commercials.
Get that, and I just tried to do that, and
But
then he brought up.
No, because you say, should we take a quick break?
No, I said, can we take a breather?
I did it this
Okay,
week.
breather.
Which is in other
you
words,
just
let's
say
stop
shit.
talking about this
No,
so we can
you
move on to
say
the next.
shit.
I just hope you guys put 10 commercials.
Just one after the other over top of him talking. So he's talking while the commercial is playing.
Weekday afternoons on Fox. Batman's getting busy. He's gonna jump. Take him, boys. Jolt. Fly. Fling. Swing. Swoop. Dive. And drive. All you have to do is hang on. We'll end this on a high note. Get ready for action.
Batman, weekdays at 4:30 on Fox 39.
We'll always have Paris.
We'll always have Paris. The Enterprise experiences a time distortion, and they receive a duress call from Mannheim Steamroller.
That's what I thought too.
Thank you. And as they're on their way there, Picard's realizing that he has some issues with Dr. Mannheim because he ended up marrying the love of his life, which he abandoned in Paris. And Troy's like, you got to take care of this before we get there because you clearly have issues. He goes on the holodeck, he starts to do the work, and he's like, nah, I'd rather be mentally disturbed than do anything about this. So they find Dr. Mannheim, who's existing between multiple different universes because he's done some time spells. And Mannheim's wife comes up and she's like, I'll steamroll you, Picard. No, she doesn't actually say that, but there's definitely some tension between the two of them. And you could tell they had a connection. And Mannheim's like, if I die, take care of my wife. And Picard's like, you obviously don't know her well.
I'll take care of her.
She's strong enough. You underestimate her, but I'll take care of her. And they're able to reverse this time distortion, this time dilation issue, because if this continues, it's going to basically destroy the whole universe. And Dr. Mannheim lives happily ever after with his wife. But before she leaves, Picard's like, let's have one last romantic rendezvous in Paris in the holodeck. So they get together in the holodeck. Picard says his goodbyes. And they live happily ever after. And then when he goes on the bridge, he says, when we get on shore, leave your buying, which is one of the first times he cracks a joke.
You're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
The Blue Parrot, where, I mean, he clearly he knows of the place, right? There's a little... So
since we've summed up that episode, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
I will kill you dead. I will kill you deader than Tasha Yar.
Oh.
I will get Armis on you.
You are a skin of evil.
He's wearing black.
Whoa! What is your implication there, sir?
That Armis was the tar
yes,
thing?
he was a tar.
Okay.
We didn't even talk about
Look
the
at this display. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yar got killed by Tar.
Tasha Tar.
Tasha's tarred. All right. This episode. So if you're going to me, this is the weaker of the two episodes.
It is.
By far.
Oh, by
This
far.
episode stunk more.
Okay. This is one where I can kind of agree with you. I feel like there's some good meat here that they don't really execute properly.
Agreed.
this relationship with this woman in Paris that was supposed. So our understanding is that he was in love with this woman, and basically it was Starfleet or her, and he chose Starfleet over her and left her. He basically just ghosted her, like text message style. He ghosted her, and they haven't seen each other in all these years.
She didn't even get a text, bro.
She didn't even get a text, man.
Not even a captain's log.
So he ghosts her, and this is the first time they've seen each other in all these years, and their interactions are actually kind of fascinating because this shows a different side of Picard. When he's with her, he's more whimsical, he's happy, he's like joking around.
I know, especially not at the end there.
He looks a little more laid back. But in a weird way, that almost, I feel like that's a character de-evolution for him because he doesn't seem put together.
No, I don't. I think it's showing his mask that he has around his crew. I don't think it's an de-evolution. I think that once he gets around in a personal setting, he's a different cat.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who operate like that. When you're at work, man, you're at work.
Did you catch though the scene where they're hailing the station and he's like, "This is Captain Picard," like he stutters on it, and Leslie was there and she's like, "Oh, they left that error in the episode, like that was a take that they redid." And I'm like, I don't think it was supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like the guy stumbling over his words.
No, he caught himself. He didn't want to say who he was at first.
Who he was.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, it wasn't a mistake. I don't think
it was like, "Oh, I got to see
this
my
is Captain
or new husband."
This is the captain of the Enterprise, right? Yeah.
Played by Michelle Phillips.
Yep.
Of Wilson Phillips fame.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's weird because
how'd you not pick up on that?
If you hold on.
The missus always has, like, she walked by when she was on there and she was like, "Oh, it's Valerie Malone's mom." And I was like, "Who?" And she was like, 90210. I was like, "Oh." I'm like, "That's actually Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and the Papas."
Yeah.
She was like, "Are you serious?" So then we
all
had a whole
the leaves are
Google thing.
and the sky is gray.
And the sky is gray.
Did you get in on it or no?
No, because
he just sat there.
He sat there
watching disgust.
No, in
I thought that would have
awe.
been a perfect musical outro into another commercial break.
If anyone went into the commercial break again, I'm gonna take this. What is this called?
Are you looking at
It's not a
Michelle
bat
Phillips
left.
now?
Huh?
Are you looking at Michelle Phillips?
I am.
Are you looking her up on Memory Alpha?
So here's the thing.
No.
Nick, as you know, just leaves episodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do. I didn't realize she
This
was in
one's
Knots
worth believing,
Landing as well. So I didn't connect the dots that was her. I appreciate that. She's 79 now. Good for her.
Still alive?
Yeah.
Good.
She's gorgeous. I thought she was gorgeous.
Now, is she mixed up in all the weirdness?
Probably. I think so.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know how mixed up she is, but she was aware.
She was aware. That's pretty
mixed
true.
up.
That's pretty
Wait, are we
true
talking about?
evil.
Are we talking about the episode? What are we talking
No.
about?
I have no idea.
No, we're talking about Michelle Phillips and the other guy from the Mamas and the Papas.
I don't know this
And,
story.
I don't know anything you're talking about.
You got to do a quick Google
Yeah,
search of the Mamas and
after the show, it's an in-depth thing.
Okay.
There's a lot
All
of
right. I'm gonna-
incest and weird stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is why they're the mama and the papas?
It's.
The mama
I mean,
with the
the
papa?
irony isn't lost on me.
Yeah.
Okay. This is interesting to know. I don't know if I want to read about that, actually.
It's fast. It's interesting. It's disgusting and horrific, but it's interesting.
Speaking of disgusting and horrific, this episode. No, I'm kidding. So going back to this, so she's talking to Picard and she says, "You didn't want to settle down with me because it would be an ordinary life." And you're really thinking Picard's going to be like, "No, that's not true." But he immediately responds back like, "You know me too well. You are too." Wow, that's a sick burn to her, isn't it? Or is it meant to be like, "No, I wanted to fly the stars. And if I married you."
Yeah, exactly.
But like, he's having this conversation while they're trying to save his husband, who has figured out ways to traverse time. Isn't that an adventure? Isn't that?
But she seemed to kind of hate being stuck in the lab.
Yeah.
And then I sort of felt bad because at the end of the episode,
She
she's
leaves
just like,
with him.
Back to it.
I know. But that's how I think this is another issue with the writing of the first couple seasons. For as strong as they make these female leads, they always fall back in line with the men. And that's another example of it, right? Like, "Oh, I'm not as happy, but I got to follow my boo."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's not strength. That's actually the opposite of it. Like, 'cause Picard argues, like, she's strong. She can handle being with you when you're miserable to her. That's not a good thing, bro.
Yeah.
I thought both premises in this episode had potential. Like
Yeah.
the multi-dimensional premise is very much sci-fi, very much Star Trek.
It's weird. When I was watching this episode, I was like, I could have done without the time travel.
It didn't need to be
dimensional
there.
rift, and just delved into, we had to run in and help out this X-Flame of, like, that was far more interesting to me, just because of your whole, like, we finally get to see some stuff about Picard.
Yeah, that part was nice. It's nice to see inside that window.
But that goes against what the writers were told to do at that time, which is focus on a bad story rather than the characters. So they had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
So here we have this bad story we want to tell.
We have this really good story we could tell, but
yes, but we have
time dilation.
Yeah,
let's do that. Instead.
3 datas.
The resolution of it was cool looking. That was cool.
That was cool. And like,
yeah.
Wait, is it me? Is it me? Is it me? And it's the middle data. When in doubt, it's the middle. They did a good job with some of those. The one that they did a really good job with was the turbo lift.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was actually probably, I think, my favorite scene in the episode. Like, that was the one who truly understood the effects of that time dilation. And they're like, which one of us is the right one? We both are. You know, it was kind of like Spaceballs a little bit.
I think I just would have liked this more if it was 2 separate episodes. Like, if you'd done the time dilation
I agree.
thing, but then it was like, it would have been interesting to see, like, even if instead of her being, like, on that planet that they divert to before they go to shore leave, it would have just been interesting to do, like, a shore leave episode where you see the rest of the cast on a shore leave.
Yeah.
And then you get this A story of Picard running into an old flame
on shore leave. Yeah,
Right.
I feel like that would have
with
been
the
a better-
Horgon.
Yeah. It's called
I feel like
Captain's
that would
Holiday.
have been the better episode.
Yeah.
It's called Captain's Holiday.
There is one where we get that a little later on.
Oh, he does go on vacation.
The
Good.
shore leave episode to rise up.
There's multiple shore leaves and multiple holodeck episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Lots of holodeck episodes, actually.
Oh yeah.
Nick's all about that holodeck.
Not as much as Voyager. Voyager has a ton of holodeck
Yes.
episodes. But that's okay. We're not going to get into that.
DS9 has quite a few.
Quite a few.
I think, to me, one of my
Community has one.
It's true. Yeah, that's true. Community is such a great show. One of my greatest problems, like you said, is that both of these plots could be broken out and expanded upon in their own episodes. But I think one of the things that really works against the different dimensions aspect is the doctor when he's in the hospital sick bay and he's like, I can explain it, but I can't explain it. It's the same, but it's different. And I think, to me, that would have been a better show, don't tell. Like, for instance, let's say they beamed down to the station and everything was all messed up and weird because it was the alternate reality. I think a little bit of show and not tell would have helped for that. It just felt like the ravings of a lunatic at that point. Like the guy had lost his mind.
Yeah.
And then it was a little too clean of a solution, which is what Next Generation is known for.
Yeah.
We've seen this before, even in season 1, where it's like
Last 5 minutes they solve it.
Yeah, one of the weaknesses of the show and its entire run is quick solutions at the end.
Mm-hmm.
yes, and it's already well established.
Yeah, it
22 episodes in.
So, I mean, Dr. Mannheim, I didn't think he was a great character. I don't think they did a good job with him.
Yeah.
And why would she pick him? Because, like, there was no chemistry there. There was nothing there. There was chemistry between
Yeah, but
Patrick
how long
Stewart
have they
and
been
her.
together? And she's been stuck in that lab while
Yeah.
he's been crazy.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
she's
think
miserable.
like-
yeah. She's not in love
She's
with
not
him.
into
Yeah.
him.
And he's like, I promise it'll be better. Dude,
Why not
It's
take her
not
to
gonna-
another dimension?
right, man. Like,
You've got access to all the dimensions. Take her to a good one.
and the way he guilts her, like, all these people died for what? Dude, that was you. That's
Yeah.
not me. Like, you killed all these people. Like, it's poor. It's writing from the male perspective.
She should have stayed
and
on
how
the
you
ship.
want a female to respond. Yeah, I think she should have stayed with Picard, man.
let
She didn't need to stay with Picard. She could have just left.
Oh yeah,
Just drop her off. at the
Was there
next
any
planet.
timeline where Picard still
Take
gets
her
the
back
tail
to Cape
and
Armis
like-
company.
that she stays on the ship?
Probably.
Is there any way that she could have stayed on the ship and,
Yeah, she's
and
a
with
civilian.
Picard and no?
Oh,
with
with him?
Picard and that would work?
No,
No.
That'd
Yeah, there's
be
a
way
mul-
too big of a distraction.
There's a multiverse, man. It happened.
I like Sean's idea that we take her back to the last planet with Armis and make Armis feel better. We just give him some.
So
You want excitement? Here's this goo monster.
Are you using her as a,
You want joy? You want excitement? Here you are.
So wait, are you using her as like a prostitute?
No. What? No, we're helping her. We're using her to reform Armis.
How? Prostitution?
Wow. Why is everything revolved to sex for you?
He's a
Have you
over
met
here.
me?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay.
I say take the doctor there.
And why is it prostitution?
let
What if she does it willingly?
Why are you taking her there? Why isn't she just going? If
You
if
ask
it's
her
with-
and she says, sure.
Oh.
Hey, I got this black goo monster who's kind of got a bad attitude. Can you help him?
It's like him or this multi-dimension doctor that's super boring. All right.
I'll choose the goo monster.
Can I ask if Troy went to Crusher, and how are you feeling as a shrink or butting in?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
It was really weird.
Why did she go to her?
Yeah, because it didn't seem like she was going as a friend. It seemed like she was trying to go in professionally. But why professionally do you gonna go just because I got the hot for the card?
I thought she was just going in to check on her. I see. This is where I'm like actually seeing friendships start to form.
Yeah.
Where you guys are like, it stinks.
No,
see-
I'm not. I am not there.
I'm just saying I didn't see it as that because it seemed like she came in there very professional and not shoulders down and hey, how are you doing? It was like it just felt more professional than that to me.
I don't think she's doing this unless she's on friendly terms with Crusher, though.
Fair.
I don't think you go in there and be like, "Hey, you jealous?"
I think because she just did it to Picard earlier in the episode.
Yes,
I think that's maybe why my mind ran with it the same way.
And I think they're starting to do a better job with Deanna. Like this is
for
another
sure.
symptom of that. They're getting a better idea of like the power in a character who's an empath, right? Like you can really do some good things with that.
The power of love.
I feel like she was maybe going there like as a friend, but like knowing she can get more information. Like, hey, how are you feeling? Like,
Yeah, but Deanna's not a gossiper. She's not like
no, not gossip to spread, but just knowing
1,000 people on that
knowing
ship, I
that
bet she
knowing
is.
that she can get a little more information than the average person.
She just said, "How are you feeling about
smarter
this?"
than the average Betazoid.
And Crusher sure turned to her and says, "You know exactly how I'm feeling about this. You're an empath."
Yeah, but she only reads their thoughts if they want her to, right?
No, I didn't read her thoughts. It reads her feelings.
Feelings. I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say.
So obviously she's feeling.
That would suck to always be able to read feelings because, like, I'd constantly be like, wow, I'm turning them on all the time. Like, that's the only thing I would
Everywhere
sense.
you go, it'd be really
You're
awkward
like,
for you.
Wow, this is ridiculous.
These people are really into me.
These people are horn dogs.
I know.
Okay, I'm only one man.
Yeah, there's not enough for you to go around.
It'd be really disappointing.
Yeah.
Church would be weird. It'd be awkward.
Meanwhile, I'd walk in a room, they're like, everybody hates me. What the hell?
What is the big like aha moment, the big message you think this episode gives us?
The one that got away.
Is it
You'll never get over the one that got
you'll
away.
never get-
It'll never happen. No matter what dimension you're in, it'll never. If there's a lost love or like the one that there's always one person you think about.
The Enterprise.
Yep.
Mm.
And that's
Always
that's
goes
what-
back to the Enterprise.
I think it was just showing. I think it was trying to give us a little bit of the Picard onion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like explain that his true love is
the ship.
Exploration, the 5-year mission, fucking over Armis.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, yeah, he doesn't like Armis. That's very.
But
true.
like he still thought about her though.
Sure.
He thought about those warp nacelles more though.
But he had repressed those feelings, right? And which is why he goes on the holodeck and he's like, I'm not doing this, and he storms out like,
but childish, whatever, indulgence,
childish indulgence, which is silly.
again-
It's like approaching your feelings
What was
is not.
under the Eiffel Tower?
Oh, there was something.
There was
wasn't
like maybe like a monorail or something. I was like,
Yeah.
that had never.
Yeah.
Apparently,
even
that'll never happen. Yeah.
apparently there's a scene somewhere in this episode, and I missed it, where you could see Denise Crosby raving in the
Yeah, because
background
this was
of
her
a door.
true last
Yeah.
episode, right?
What?
Yeah, hidden in, like in one of the cargo bays or whatever it is. The door opens up, and you can see her walking by and waving in Natasha Yar outfit.
So I got to go back and watch this episode again.
No, it's in
Yep.
Symbiosis. It's in Symbiosis.
Oh, it's in
that she does
Symbiosis?
it. This up, yeah, Symbiosis. Background waving goodbye right there.
I lied to you. My
Yeah.
apologies.
Yeah,
Which one is Symbiosis?
the one before she dies, because that was her actual last filmed episode was
Oh,
Symbiosis, which is rough, man. You film your dying episode and then you have a whole other one to film. Like, that would suck.
Okay, you're dead, but we're going to start production in the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Symbiosis.
You're like comic book dead.
Yeah, you're not really dead. We don't want you here. You don't want to be
I'm a
here.
fan of the material too, Sean. So
There you go, Sean.
you're like
Tasha Yar.
soap opera dead.
Tasha Yar for you.
There you go.
There you go. So lost love. Picard's love is the Enterprise.
That's kind of what I see. Take out of this.
I would think I would actually think one of my big takeaways is your profession becoming your true love, right? Here's the scientist who's like, he's married to this beautiful woman and he's more focused on his profession. Enterprise was in love with, or Picard was in love with her. His true love becomes his profession. So their jobs taking over their life, becoming their vocation, essentially.
She can't get a break, huh?
No, man. She can't. Two men who are like, I'm sorry, you might be okay, but this is way better.
Maybe she needs to be a little more introspective then, because if there's two men who are willing to say, I'd rather work
than be
with you. I mean, maybe it's two is a small sample size, but choosing work over women,
He is saying
that's rough.
There's a common denominator there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is.
Maybe she's got a little Taylor Swift in her.
Oh, don't you knock the T-Swizzle on this show.
Great, they're going to attack us now.
They're
not listening.
Thank you for that, because that'll dissuade from my Black Panther discussion earlier.
Skin of Evil. Let's go to reviewing these episodes, shall we? Shall we take a quick commercial break?
I'll kill you. Okay.
No, actually, let's go to reviewing these episodes. So let's start with Skin of Evil.
Can I real quick get a recap of what my reviews were for the last episode?
You gave Haven
for contextual purposes.
You gave Haven a 10.
Jesus Christ.
And you gave The Big Goodbye a 7. I gave Haven an 8.
Okay.
What did I give it? 3?
6.
That sounds about right. On the scale, on the conversion scale of Sean's 10, I think giving it a 6 is about right.
A 6 for Skin of Evil?
No.
No.
So are we doing Skin of Evil? I'm going to give it a 4. And only because I really enjoyed our discussion about.
Only because?
Yeah. So, otherwise, it was a 2 at best.
Wow.
This episode stunk. It was super cheesy, no production value.
I disagree.
The only thing. I
Marty, what's his name, that couldn't breathe in the oil slick costume.
Tell him it had no production value.
I mean, they basically put a blanket over him and covered him with printer ink.
And you don't find
they're
that
like, look, costume. It's like
I love it.
It's kind of true, but I thought it was a good costume.
But it was it's like figuring out your Halloween costume on the 30th. You're like, all right, I have a blanket and I have like 80 cartridges of printer ink.
Well,
what can I do with this?
I'm Armis this year.
Oh my gosh.
Are you doing it for real?
You should be Tasha Yar and I'll be Armis.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So Skin of Evil 4 for Joe. Rob.
5.5.
5.5?
Yeah.
5.5. I give this I think this was a 6.5 to me, honestly. I enjoyed it. I feel like there's a lot to talk about. I feel like it does the thing that Star Trek does best, asking difficult questions. How would you respond to these sorts of things? So I enjoyed it. Sean, what do you give it?
I'd go with 6.5.
6.5.
Oh, I was expecting a friggin' 10.
It killed my favorite character.
Yes.
And I got no sleep because I kept my kid up.
That's a good point. That's going to deduct right
Sounds
there.
like a 4 to me.
Yeah, none of these were really about the episode. It was really just about personal preference and issues. But
I mean, I liked the episode. I was disappointed in the, killing off of my favorite character. That's going to ding any episode.
Yeah, that's
All
true.
right?
That's true.
I like Sean's critical review of this. How did this episode affect me personally?
Yeah.
That's how I'm
My
going to rate
kid
it.
didn't sleep.
You guys all want to get messages out of every single one of these.
I do. I'm weird like that. They don't necessarily, right?
Sometimes you're like, this
You
is
just wanna have fun.
45 minutes to get a paycheck.
I want to be entertained.
42 minutes, sir. 42.
Sorry.
This could have been 38. I'd have been fine with it.
We'll always have Paris.
There's a lot of filler in that episode, too. Like at the beginning, where they had to realign the dilithium crystals.
Oh my gosh, yes.
There's
there
a
was.
lot of filler in there.
Yeah, we need to take us to Warp 8. No, I can't. Whoop it now, I said.
Your Picard's the worst.
No, it is incredible.
I'm gonna give We'll Always Have Paris a 4.5.
Higher than Skin of Evil.
No, 3.5. I'm sorry.
Okay, 3.5.
Yeah.
Sean, what about you?
Was Wesley in it?
Yes.
Barely.
No.
He was not.
No,
in
he
this
was not.
one. He was in the last.
Oh no, he was in the first one.
Yeah, that was his last episode of the season. I read.
Ever?
Of this season.
He's back, baby.
I tried.
5.
A 5?
Yeah. It had the weakest use of the holodeck.
It did.
And
not your
Yar's funeral?
holodeck. Not your holodeck girl.
Tasha Yar's funeral is a pretty weak use.
Sure. That was because it's like they all like where. So her body was just sitting there,
just chilling.
And then when the holodeck program ended, she was just left there.
So that's a good question. Did they drag her dead body into the holodeck, and then as soon as the program starts, she pops up like Weekend at Bernie's, and then they stop the program and she just collapses to the floor? And they're like, somebody has to be tasked with dragging that body in and out.
It's a holodeck, man. They had the body scan in there already.
Yeah, but she already has like a video. Like,
did she
Can we
pre-make
talk
it?
about the pompous arrogance of being like, someday I'm going to die, so I'm going to record a hologram of me saying goodbye to everyone and telling them about the redeeming
The
qualities.
great poet Tupac Shakur once said, "I see death around the corner."
Okay, but
he was always anticipating
do you really
his death.
need to make a video and be like,
who lived a more concerned?
Okay,
Who lived a life where you'd be more concerned about death, Tupac or Tasha Yar?
Well, the way she was abrasive in New Worlds.
Yeah, Tasha Yar was a Tupac of the
next generation.
See, this is what I deal with every week, just for the record.
Just so you know, I think it might be good for you to leave a message to your son so that your legacy isn't keeping up with the Kardashians.
No, this is a perfect legacy for this man.
Actually, listen to episode 1 of the show.
I know how it has devolved.
Yes.
I'm creating this so my kids could come and watch this years later. I don't want my kids.
It was not watch; it's they could hear our voice.
Hear our voice, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but you know what? This is a true document of you. Yeah. This is the Picard that we never get to see.
There's a difference between pre-recording something that's meant for them to hear after you die and just having footage of you speaking and everything. Though, like for instance, my grandfather used to take a lot of.
If
home
you had
videos.
a holodeck, there'd be all kinds of footage of me.
So my grandfather
doing everything.
My grandfather did a lot of home videos, and my dad likes to go
Yeah,
and
he
watch
did.
those because his father died when he was 14 years old. So it's like a way to see his dad again, right? But if it's a pre-recorded message, I think that hits differently. I think seeing them in their element, seeing them like how they were actually.
So
in that
this
time.
is for your son.
No, this
is for him.
This is for the people. I do this for the people.
I think everybody should do something similar, but it should be more roasting.
Oh, gosh, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
I would
Your
love.
death gift is roasting everybody you know.
I would
Boom,
love to
roasted.
I would love to roast every single one of you.
That's a Patreon right there.
Yep.
A roast.
Keeping
The
up with
Patreon roast of Nick.
Keeping up with the Kardashian roast.
Oh gosh, that could be a lot of
Just
fun.
right.
You could have all former guests
Do you
come
think?
on.
Do you think we can get Jeff? What's his name?
Foxworthy.
No, not Jeff. Who's the guy who's always at the roasts?
Oh, Jeff.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
That you
That's
don't
all he
remember
does.
his-
He
yeah.
just does roasts. That's all he's known for. Him and
Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross. And Nikki Glazer on there because she's going to say something inappropriate and sexual because that's all she does.
That's what we do.
That's
On
her
this,
humor.
that's what we do on this show.
I know.
Yeah.
And then Justin Bieber.
So who tore the show down? If the show initially started out as this very
Joe did.
constructive,
No, it started to
discussion
happen.
on Star
It started
Trek,
to de-evolve before he got on.
No, it didn't.
Isn't he on like the 5th episode?
Eighth. No, it didn't evolve yet. I think we just decided that we didn't want it to just be Trek at
Yes.
some point, and then that's when we kind of changed.
We got more
gears.
comfortable in our own
my
skin.
show notes is always less football.
Your show notes are.
Oh
less
yeah,
football?
the other day I
For
was
us?
like, it's 45 minutes of football before you guys talk about Star Trek.
Okay, we didn't talk 45
there's
minutes.
no
It was
way.
like 5 minutes tops.
That's ironic because my show notes are more football.
We still have not finished our rating. So Joe gives it a 3.5. Sean gives it a 5. Rob, what do you give it?
4.5.
I give it a 4. I thought a lot of there was a lot of potential here, and it missed out on its potential. So I can't give it an average rating, and 5 would be average to me.
I feel like if they would like we said, if they would have broken these plots out into 2 separate episodes, each one would have been rated higher than what we rated.
Oh,
them.
yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. All right, so next week we have Conspiracy and The Neutral Zone. So the season 1 finale, we're finally there to the season 1 finale.
The Neutral Zone is a finale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
And season 2 is only 22 episodes long.
Hell yeah, now we're cooking.
But then the rest of them are 26 after that.
But that's okay. Season 3 is when it gets good, right?
Season 3. Well, I
No,
mean,
it's season 7 when it gets good.
At the end, the last episode.
Yeah,
you
very
just
last
have to,
episode.
you just have to get through the first 7 seasons of it.
I can
and
do
then
it.
It gets really good in episode 24.
Listen, I made it through like 2.5 seasons of Scrubs. I can do anything. I can do anything.
I can do all things through Jean-Luc Picard, who strengthens me.
I've laughed more during season 1 of The Next Generation than I laughed at 2.5 seasons of Scrubs.
Well, this has been a blast.
A 2-hour blast, for the love of God.
Time for a commercial break.
It's true, though. No, I'm
should
kidding.
just call in, put you live. Just call in and just say, commercial break, guys.
Commercial break. Yeah, I love it. I love
I'm
it.
gonna text in later on, and it needs more commercials.
Oh, I'm gonna.
But if you want to call or text with any suggestions for the show on production value or anything related to how this show flows, you can do it 734-494-0980. You can
Remember we were going to do this at the beginning of the show?
Yeah, but you
Those
can
were the
also
days.
you can go to Instagram, keeping_up_Cardassians, and let Rob know that you hate the production
You can
value
go
of
on
the show.
YouTube to Keeping Up.
Go on
Kardashians.
YouTube and tell us we're awful.
You can
And
tell us
there is
we
no-
don't have commercial breaks.
Yes, like Sean did.
Yeah.
I waited till I was in person. I didn't leave a comment.
I don't think I'm going to do that on YouTube very often. I ain't got the time for that.
You could always just put in a bumper from like an Al Beck bumper or something like that for those commercial breaks.
You don't watch YouTube, do you?
No.
I already did there. At
Oh,
the
you
beginning.
did?
I did it.
But not at the other commercial breaks.
No, not
He
commercial
doesn't.
break.
That's what I was just saying.
Thanks for supporting your own show.
Twitter or X at Cardassians Pod.
Isn't it nice to know though that the views you get aren't like
Yeah, they're not us.
you
like
sitting
we're
there
not,
watching it.
We're not
100
inflating the
times?
numbers. We're not just hitting refresh every 2 minutes.
God.
Our
That's a
our
thing?
recently rejuvenated Facebook page, thanks to our booking of the cruise.
Yeah, we're Facebook
There's-
is actually meaningful for
There
us
is
now.
activity on Facebook now.
There is.
I'm gonna go
So-
like that page too.
There
Sean
you go.
is burning up the Facebook
Hey,
likes.
Patreon, Joe, hit it.
Patreon.com/keeping up with the Cardassians, where you get more nonsense.
The last 2 especially.
Yeah.
Did we create our new Patreon level sugar daddy or sugar mama for
We need to do that, Joe.
the cruise?
Chop, chop.
Anyone want to give us?
Okay, so final thought on doing that. Would either of you feel guilty if someone actually signed up?
Yes, I would.
No, I would not feel guilty
I would
one
feel
little bit.
absolutely guilty if someone actually.
No,
signed up.
they know what they're getting into. That says it right there on the page.
It will say this is literally just helping us.
This is helping us to go on the cruise.
We need a drink package so we could live record it. Hey, Nick.
Well, follow us on Patreon. We'd love it. And Sean, thanks for joining us. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure.
It's been an appearance.
It has. So we're going to take a quick commercial break as we wrap up this episode. Thanks for keeping up with
Should travel right
Cardassians.
now.
Yeah.
It's been great having you all. Bye.